But it's still it's a decent song, man. It's a decent. It's still a lovely song.
But you was jamming to it in a second.
I was definitely.
That's right, you were.
I was definitely.
EDP365 covers topics with explicit and strong language and is intended for mature audiences only. Topics may be sensitive to some, and everyday people may not agree with the views expressed on this discussion, but we don't give a damn. But keep in mind, we'll give you the point of view of everyday people with everyday situations, and EDP365 is not afraid to go there.
All right, y'all. We're not. Oh, I don't have no wine on the table. All right, so welcome to EDP365 Facebook Live. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Les. To my left is
Chris Styles.
And we got a special guest with us tonight, Mr.
Woody Winborn.
All right, so we're going to introduce Woody a little bit later because y'all know how we do here on the show. So how was your day, Woody?
It was great. The usual. I was very excited today, though, because I'm getting a chance to expound. Is that a good word? Expound.
I like it.
On this vision I had, a word with Dad. So, we tried to work the hiccups out of you. Were extra mad.
Yes, I was mad.
She was mad. I was laughing. I was like, LOL. Like
no,
that.
It was more than LOL. Woody had all the little emojis that was laughing, and he didn't do one. He did like 3 and 4 at a time.
I'm just hitting them all.
And every time I would go on, Woody would be there with all the laughs.
You still trying? You still trying? That's what I was like. You still trying?
All right, Chris, how was your day?
My day was really good. I ain't got no complaints. My day was quiet though.
That's all right.
Chris Cool Hand Luke. I like the hat, man. That's cool. I like the hat.
That's cool.
Maybe you say Cool Hand Luke?
Cool Hand Luke.
All
We're
right,
gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun.
All right. So my day was good. I had a little rough patch this morning, but I gotta let it go. I can't let one person steal my joy, which I didn't. I dealt with the situation and I moved on.
Situational.
The class that I had, those ladies made the day better for me, so that was great. I enjoyed my class today.
Good.
And so, with that being said, sometimes you gotta come home. And hey to everybody who's watching. Hey, Eleanor. Damn, my ACH be holding it down. Last night, Eleanor.
She was there.
She was on.
She was laughing.
Every live.
She was laughing.
Eleanor wasn't laughing.
Eleanor, I saw her laugh. Twice. I saw her boom, boom. She laughed at you twice.
So, my ACH, Eleanor, was on last night trying to help me work through the kinks. So, Eleanor, I love you to pieces. I greatly appreciate what you did last night. Ash even came on and she helped. So, hey to my mom as well.
Hey.
And so before we get into the wine, the rest of the show, let me do this real quick. They say women can't get along. Women who deal with the same man, who have a relationship with the same man, they say that we can't get along. Well, Miss Charlene Fitch proved that to be wrong. Charlene Fitch was my son's father's girlfriend for a number of years. And Charlene welcomed me into her home, welcomed Dre into her home. She was even in my wedding, and so that just lets you know the bond that she and I had. And so this morning, her mom, I don't know if it was this morning, couldn't have been this morning, she put a post out saying that her mom passed, and I know she loved her mother dearly. I think they probably had a really good bond, so we could just take a moment, just have a moment of silence for Charlene and her family as they go through this time of mourning. All right, so I ask that you keep that family in prayer. One more thing before we dive into the show, because y'all know I got to taste my wine. I will with
Delve.
New word. Somebody type that
New
in.
word alert. We're gonna delve. Delve.
Go put that in for me, Woody. See, this is what happens when you have educated folks on your show.
Well, Mama was an English teacher.
Was she?
Yeah.
So
and I failed every year.
Kept you straight.
Was oh my gosh, I forgot that.
Miss Winborn.
No, I'm talking about the 12th grade English teacher.
Miss Gilliam.
Was she your
Save
teacher?
me. Save
I had
me
her
from
too.
failing 12th grade.
We gonna get into this in a second. So like I said, before we delve into the wine real quick. So y'all know for the last couple of weeks, it started with Kay. We've been having some issues getting our guests on. So last night I was really determined, hence the reason this one was laughing at me. Eleanor hung in with me last night.
She a trooper.
What I found out is that Facebook Live has removed the option. The Facebook Live has removed the option for people to comment on your live.
Boo!
And yeah,
They're
big
gonna charge
deal
for that. They're gonna charge for that.
And people gonna pay for it.
It's
I
monetary.
So, we don't have that option, and I pray that going forward, it doesn't hinder people from being on our show. Kudos to Woody for saying, you know what, Les? Well, this is how you know how long somebody has known me, because Woody doesn't call me Les, he calls me Leslie. So if you call me Leslie, you've known me since I was 14, 15 years old. So, like I said,
I'm only 29.
Yeah.
Me too.
Okay.
I'm going with
Yeah. All right. So, like I said, I hope it doesn't hinder us going forward. Thank God, Woody said, no, don't worry about it. I'll come out to you guys. And so, we're gonna be looking for different ways to bring people in. We do have some other guests that are coming up. So, prayerfully, they're gonna be willing to come on out and sit on the couch, as people say. So let's go. Let's
Delve
into the show. Did you put that word out there?
Yeah, I put it out there.
All right. We're going to delve into the show.
I have a watch party going on with this watch.
What? All right, so here we go. This is what we do at the top of the show. And Woody, I don't have to introduce this to you because you've seen us do it before.
Yeah.
All right, so tonight, again, I don't know what the fellas are drinking, but I am drinking Zeppelin. And this is Carolina Red. This is Carolina Red. So I'm going to taste this right now.
Good-ish.
I drink wine, I get a headache.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I can't drink wine.
Okay. I'm glad I had an option.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and pour out a sip for the people who get headaches. Here we go.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm going to pour it in me, though. So what y'all drinking? What y'all drinking tonight?
Me and Mr. Winborn are drinking on peach margarita. Matter of fact, it's made by the Chi-Chi's brand. And so we're sipping on some peach margarita tonight. A little bit something different. It's funny. Something told me to bring it, so it worked out very well. So sometimes when you listen to your intuition, things work out.
Yes,
you know
you
what I'm
do.
saying?
I like that.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get to our guest. Now, I have known Woody since I was about 14, 15 years old.
When I weighed 118 pounds.
Well, both of us. We've known each other since we were about 13, 14, 8th grade.
8th, 9th grade, yeah.
Graduated from the same high school. Over the last couple of years, Woody and I have had lots of conversations about how we can help each other to grow.
Yes.
Bring each other onto each other's shows and all that good stuff. So we're always looking for great ways to collaborate. But Woody has a great show on Facebook Live, and it's called A Word with Dad. Yeah. Now, I say simply, it's being a parent from a dad's perspective.
Yep.
Now, what we're going to do is turn it on over to Mr. Woody Winborn. He's going to tell y'all all about his show. Yeah. What he has going on, big projects, things he's doing with his kids. He is just fantabulous. I just actually showed Woody some notes from a meeting we had this time last year about some things that he has going on that he wants to, do going forward.
That was at Kelly Lemon's spot.
Right.
I cannot remember the name of it off the top of my head, but Kelly Lemon has a spot down on East Broad Street, West Broad, right across from Rainbow. And Urban RVA, I believe that's it. Urban Hang Suite. Great place to go. Kelly is a good person. Always look out. Personality. She, I used to work with her when I was in radio. So me and Leslie did talk about that. I ain't called it colloquialisms I know from high school. I might throw it out before the end of the night. But me and Leslie went to, of course, Henrico together. I was supposed to go, so I can break this down on how I got here. I was supposed to go to John Marshall. I wanted to go to Henrico to be around my cousins, Darryl Goins, of course, Marlon, Tosin, Herb, all my boys. But I I stayed a lot with my aunt. My aunt was married. My mother wasn't married. I came up in a single parent household. So my Uncle Bernard, my Aunt Betty, I always stayed with them. I even call her my mother. I wish her a happy Mother's Day on Mother's Day because she was a mother to me.
Okay.
So that's where.
And we're back.
We're back. You know.
Action.
Action. But because my dad wasn't around when I was growing up, my dad was a phone call. You know, he was never locked up that as far as I knew, he was in Detroit. And he was a phone call to me, you know, and I never had that opportunity to have that true word with dad. You know, your real dad, not your uncle, your granddaddy, the dude that gave you life. So after I got older, I just wanted to do that. I went to the military. I've always worked with kids from the Bethlehem Center to lawn football, parent football, Hermitage football. I know kids from all over the area. Go Verona Blue Devils. They're playing for a state championship.
Wow.
Hopewell is playing for a state championship.
Congratulations to all y'all.
It's a few others too from this area. Oh, TJ, big shout out to TJ City School. Hey, we got the first time in, I believe it was like 60. It's a lot of years. So I always look out for those kids. But a word with dad came from that. Just to be able to have kids, to be able to talk to someone that can relate to them. That's not this, oh son, when I was young, I didn't want to be that dad. You know, I'll talk to them, their talk, their music, their lifestyle, their clothes, everything. So that's where it came from.
Because even in the meeting that we had, your oldest son was
Woody.
actually there, and it was just like they were friends. They had such an open and close relationship, and you could tell that in the conversation and how Woody talked, how his son talked, and his son was just relaxed, and it just seems like y'all can talk about almost anything.
And that's dope.
We talk about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we say we talk, Sometimes I have to be like, bruh. I don't say bruh, but I say, look, I don't want to hear about that. But he does see me that way. No, even though we have that friendship, I'm still a father.
Right.
And it's a distinct line. It's a time where I have to be like, listen, you're gonna do this. If you don't like it, cool, but you're gonna do it. So that's where the whole word with dad started with my kids.
All right, so hey to everybody who just tuned in. Tonight we have Mr. Woody Winborn, creator and host of A Word with Dad. And so please, throw your questions out at Woody. He's going to be more than
super
welcome
honest,
and open, transparent, as they say, and honest, and answer your questions.
Yeah.
So, Chris, did you have some questions? Looks like you wrote a few questions down.
I just wrote a few things down, and I was going to ask Woody, what influenced him, to create the show and the concept, but he just explained that. So that question is
mute point.
But some of the things I think, Woody, that influenced me as a parent, a co-parent initially, is I was influenced by my parents are old school.
Yeah.
So I, always had that old school influence. Although we were being influenced by a new age that we were being brought into, and they were always transparent. They were always like that no nonsense, type of deal.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, it's got kind of flexible. They had that no nonsense and that transparency, but they kind of included you in it. But like, okay, it's not gonna be like a totalitarian society.
Yeah.
And it was like, how do you feel? What do you want to do? Blah 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 blah. So that was a good thing. And they did the also the era that I grew up in. Also, I took some of the points that they done for me, and I kind of applied it to the era that I grew up in, that my kids
are doing,
had the influence in. And initially, I knew that my parents treated the girls and the boys in the household a little bit different.
Yeah.
But
speak on it.
I personally,
speak on it.
I personally didn't do that to my children. I taught them all as one because they're gonna need the same information, the same things moving forward. And what their mother could teach them, the mothers could teach them. But I just added
the fatherly touch.
My aspect to the whole situation,
Yeah.
and try to bring him into that era and that aspect. I would say it worked to some degree, and then it didn't work because when they started to evolve into who they were as individuals and as people,
They start searching.
I started have to find out, what works best for this individual. You can't do a whole broad scale.
Yeah. Well, the way I look at that, because I have, of course, as I said, boys, girls. My daughter to this day, right now, she'll say, "Daddy," and I said this when I was talking last night. She was like, "Why do you treat me different than you treat the boys when it comes to dating?" Baby girl is 13, and she's 13 going on 35, literally going on 35. Very, very, very smart, very articulate. However, she notices everything. She's an Aries just like me, so I'm arguing with myself. Not arguing, but I have discussions with myself when I talk to her.
You said with yourself?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking to myself. It's just
Okay.
a female version of me. But I had to tell her, a lot of differences that we'll delve into throughout the conversation. I talk to her the same way about sex as I do the boys. I just bring it from a different standpoint, and when we break it down, we get into the show a little bit more. We'll break it down because I feel like the problem is we lie to our kids. Not we, but some parents lie to their kids. And that is the worst thing you can do. Let's not lie to them. Tell them the truth.
Yes.
First off, they're sponges, but they're going to notice it years later and be like, "Man, you lied to me."
The birds and the bees, huh?
Yeah, hey, it's the birds and the bees. And, that little thing is going, for my son, that little thing going to get to work. My son's going to get to work, my daughter. One day you're going to get emotionally attached to somebody and make it worth more than a roll in the rug because that's the one prized possession that you have. That's what's happening now. These kids is wilding.
So you actually have custody of your two oldest.
Yeah, I got
So,
that.
a lot, I'm not saying men don't, but a lot of men don't always step up to the plate, take on the role of full-time parent, get custody. What made you go in that direction and not be that dad and be like, well, let them go live with their grandmother? I'll do child support.
Well, when it first started, shout out to my son's mom. We had a lot of rocky roads in this process, but she gave me two of my most beautiful blessings that I could ever have. Two sons. One is my namesake. The other one, he's not my namesake, but he's me all day too. We started out co-parenting, and it just, it started to flow where I wanted, where, some things weren't happening the way that I saw fit. And I just went ahead. I felt like at that point in time, I was ready. I'm not going to sit and say she wasn't ready. She has her story. I have mine. I ended up getting the boys. I'm not here to bash her.
That's right.
It happened. They've got the story from her. They've got the story from me. I always feel like there's my story, her story, and then there's the truth.
That's
Usually
right.
the truth will show itself.
It will.
Come to light when it's time. And they've seen some things. But I love her to death.
And it's good that you're able to have that co-parenting relationship with both of your children's mothers.
Oh, yeah. The co-parenting relationship is definitely much easier with my daughter's mom. I believe because we were at a more mature time in our lives when we had baby girl. The boy's mom, it was tumultuous. She got remarried. Me and him had a few choice words at a time. Me and him, actually now he supports the boys just like I support his son when he does come up here. So it's just about growth. And that's the big thing where Word With Dad came from. We have a lot of kids who are having kids and their grandparents are raising them. And then we got kids being born to, I'm going to say this and it's going to be, we putting it out real.
That's what we do.
We put it out real.
Go ahead.
You got people popping pills, getting high, drinking, and then they get out here, go to the club, boom, 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 get some, and then you got an emotionally inept kid coming out because they are the creation of something that wasn't a loving situation.
Right.
And when they come out that way, they're going to want that love that never came about from it,
Okay.
So that's what made a Word With Dad come along. Every kid wants to be loved.
And then we talk about the pill popping and the
they doing it
all
all
stuff like
now.
that. The thing is, people don't really understand when it comes to genetics.
Everything.
when you put that in your system,
It's there.
and it's there, and it goes into the egg and it transpires and it's growing out.
That is a part of the DNA makeup.
It's a part of the makeup. So they're going to be loopy, chaotic, emotional states all over the place, mental states all over the places because of the insertion of the chemicals that change the basics, the core of the DNA when a child is being created.
And then you put into the other part of it, Chris. You put into the other part, the mom and dad ain't together. So now you got a kid wondering, well, shoot, I see, if you go to a white school, I see that kid over there, his parents are with him in some instances, and in some in black schools, his daddy and mama together. Where my daddy? Why never my dad? Or why my grandma got to come to every event? Where my mom at? You know, or the worst case scenario, you got a dead parent, you know,
Yes.
At a young 5 and 4 year old age. I've seen that, you know, where a kid, his parent, it's a kid named Dejan. I love him to death. Dejan, if you're watching this, I love you. He's playing college football now.
Right.
Dejan has 2 brothers, JJ and Sakori. Their mom died when they were young. And I'm talking about 6 and 7. So they started playing at Laurel, and they were basket cases, especially JJ. He would just bust out crying. So JJ sees me to this day. He'll come and give me a hug, you know, and that is what these kids need. Not just from a mother, but from a father. You know what I mean?
And I'm sorry. Let me say this real quick, and I'll give it back to you. I think like one of the things too we talked last night. There's a group that I go to called Transformation RVA, and it's called the Men's Huddle. And we got Pastor Antonio Scales and Algernon. I want to say his last name is Will, so please forgive me if I didn't get that right. But Men's Huddle, we get together. There's also the faith aspect that's brought into it, but there's also the real aspect of what men are going through, your traumas, everything that you're going through to help you heal and become a better man and a better person, not only for yourself, your kids, your society, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So we were talking about last night, and you know something that you mentioned. Many young minority men, their fathers having that tough love never really told them. And sometimes people could count on their hands how many times father said, "I love you."
Oh.
You know, and I think that really needs to be brought more into what we're doing when we raising our kids. Let them know, look, I don't care how many times you're gonna be tired of hearing it. I love you, and to move forward with that.
Yeah.
Hug them. I don't care if you kiss them or not. They know the truth. They know the truth in your frequency. They know the truth in your voice.
Yeah.
They hear it. They know it. So, you know, y'all out there, tell y'all nieces, y'all nephews, whoever, your children that you love them.
Yeah. It goes a long way.
So, Woody, I was just going to ask, what things have you covered on A Word with Dad? What has been the easiest and what has been the toughest conversation or topic you've had on your show?
Well, being that I just got back active, the toughest one to this date was the mother that went to her son's school. I believe it was in Georgia, and she beat her son. I mean, she just beat him. I don't know what he did in class, but she dragged him out of class, whooped him in front of the teachers. And it's a spanking, and it's a whooping. That was a whooping. That was one of them Kunta Kinte. You remember Harriet Tubman? If you don't go see Harriet Tubman, but it was one of those whoopings.
And
I mean,
it sounded like a kind of a frustration.
Frustration.
Yeah.
And that was the toughest conversation as far as on the page because it lit it up. Also, a tough one was fathers kissing their sons in the mouth. You know,
That's different.
but I had a young lady, Megan Davis. She's from Guyana. I always say when I see her, I say straight from Guyana. You know, good people. As y'all see, I'm fun. I love to have fun. Leslie knows this. I love to have fun. But this is how I connect with the kids too. They don't want that uptight dad, you know. But she said only in America do we sexualize a kiss to your son. Now, She said over in her country they do that. And the sons come up, no funny ways or what we call anything of that sort. So sometimes we have to look at the society, and she brought up points.
Exactly.
I mean, my man Marlon McCormick, Marlon, brought up some great points. Everybody gives great points on A Word with Dad. And the reason we give great points is because the one thing I want to have is a safe place for fathers to talk.
Yeah.
Okay. That thing just got loud. Yeah, it just came on in. I don't know what happened with that. I think my Bluetooth died. But it did.
No, I was going to say something. I thought you were done.
But it's a safe place for us to talk, and that's what A Word with Dad also does.
Oh,
go ahead, Chris.
I was.
So what what I want to see more of, because it was it had to be a couple of weeks ago where you posted a question. And I could see multiple people answering the question. So how often do you post like maybe a topic for the day or a question for the day for people to respond? Now, if you are watching, if you just joined the show, tonight we have Mr. Woody Winborn. He is the creator and host of A Word with Dad.
Yep.
You can catch his show on Facebook Live. Friend Woody, so you can be a part of his conversations. His conversations are deep. Super deep. I noticed that you started posting questions for people to answer, and they're questions that start to make you think. It really makes you think, and I wish I could think of that question that you had that I answered. But they really start to make you think. So like I said, go to Woody's page.
A Word with Dad.
Go to A Word with Dad. Join, and start listening to his
Participate and relate. That is one of my mottos. Now, you were saying the questions I posted. I have 5 topics, and I couldn't remember all 5 last night. My Monday motivation. We got Monday is Motivational Monday. Trendy Tuesdays. I do What's the Word Wednesdays. That's something where, and I'll break down each. Topical Thursdays, and then Free Your Mind Fridays. Okay. Each subject lends into something that the kids go through. Okay. Too many parents are this parent. Do as I do and don't ask any questions. No, we can't do that nowadays because one thing, these kids got social media, they have friends, peer pressure, and they're battling a lot of things.
Absolutely.
So you want to connect to your kids on as many levels as possible because you have only a few seconds where they can do something wrong and we end up losing them to something stupid, whether it be to jail, death, or whatever, and we don't want to wish that. I don't wish that on any parent. I promised my sons and my daughter, we would do this right. I'm going to live, enjoy my grandkids, and then one day y'all are going to come to me and y'all are going to say, Dad, you did great, and rest easy. That's what it's supposed to be. This thing where you got parents burying kids, it's not supposed to be like that.
Yeah, because Todd.
My man Todd Moody. Yeah. Todd, my dude. Todd, I've known Todd for
forever.
Yeah, forever. I remember growing up, me and Todd, all of us got to fighting and he threw rocks at our house window.
I'm gonna ask Todd about that the next time.
It was funny. It was funny. Todd, my man, though, but his son, God rest, God bless Todd, and may his son rest easy. Because we don't want to see our kids make a decision that can cost them the ultimate, And
it really seems like in today's society, when you make a bad choice or a wrong choice, it's hitting a lot of our youth and our teens immediately. Yeah. It's not taking a long time, learn this lesson, learn that lesson.
No.
For whatever reason, it's being amped up, things are being speeded up, and you don't have that opportunity to make that wrong choice. So whatever's out here, running around, floating in the atmosphere, we can't see. Oh, they catching them.
And with that, the main thing is social media. When we were growing up, we didn't have social media. I follow this is another subject. If you have a child with social media, you need to follow it. Follow them. Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram. They got these other apps too. WhatsApp.
Something called TikTok.
All these apps. You better follow them because believe me, they're seeing everything. I follow my kids on everything, and when I see them post something crazy, hey, you may go for a job one day and it may not, they may not hire you based on that job. Based on that post.
So there's a question for you out here, Woody. And the question is, how can I find the combo on fathers kissing their children?
I have to go to the page and I'm gonna accept you. So once you hit the friend request or the invite on the page, I should have just opened it up. But
it's all right.
but once I'll accept you, and then you can look at everything, and you'll start seeing some of the topics. I always put pictures with everything. I think a picture's worth 1,000 words. Mm-hmm. So that picture, I try to illustrate it, and then we talk about it.
That's the one I answered. Because it was an older dude, and he was bending down, and they were by a refrigerator or something. That's the one that I answered. That's right.
Kiss his son. I'm going to go to my Word with Dad page, and I'm going to open it up so that people can just sign on there automatically. You know what I mean? I don't know how I do that. You might have to do that.
Okay, now what am I doing?
How do you make it where people can just, I don't have to approve them coming in? I don't know that. My son.
You got to go to...
Make it public.
Yeah, make it public. I'll figure it out here. Let's see. I'm sorry, y'all, but that's the way.
You gotta go into your groups.
Yeah, I do. I'm sorry. People gonna be like, man, this man don't know. Go in there.
It's hard.
Yeah, go in there and
go back.
Okay.
Go hit the star.
Okay, hit the star.
All right. So member request. Mm-hmm. Let me see. All right.
So nobody is. So if they,
I'm trying to figure out how you do it so that you can just when it's automatic, but you got to go within here in the star to do it. You're gonna find it in here.
Group settings? No.
Yeah, check that.
My settings.
Let's see what it's doing.
Oh, come on, come back.
Excuse me.
It says who can approve members and
anyone in the group. So I just went online. Okay, listen, I'm sorry. My sons are usually right there with me. They teach me all. I let them teach me everything. But if you go onto a Word with Dad, you can just go in there. I won't have to approve it. And you can just look through the topics, and you'll see some of the stuff we talk about.
Let's see. Let's clap this. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you can. Well, you probably can't see it. The light is on there.
And Woody too. Even as an adult,
even
with my kids, we have adult conversations about some things. So it's still good to know what they're into and what they're doing. Because
definitely
anything can take a turn for the worse.
Definitely.
And I know that being in this media instant gratification society, one of the things that does take place, if they're not receiving it instantly from the home or wherever they're at, they're going to seek that attention or that gratification somewhere else.
Especially for girls.
And that gratification may lead to,
everything.
Being abused by somebody else or being used. So, fellas, mothers, fathers, whoever, uncles, everybody, just participate. Become that community. Become that village.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I look at. So many people nowadays say, "Don't talk to my kid that way," or "Don't do this." That's the wrong answer. That is the wrong answer. And we got too many kids dying. So I was with a group called K, which is Coaches Against Violence Everywhere. Maurice, I can't. His last name slips my mind, but Rodney Leeper, Maurice, no, not Chris, I can't remember. But Maurice Tower, they started that, and we started marching for Maya Moses, the girl that got killed over by John Marshall. She got shot in the alley by a kid from Henrico. It was a teenager that shot her. He didn't mean to. He was shooting at someone else. Accidental murderers. Right. Nas made a song about Rick Ross and Nas made a song called Accidental Murderers. But that's what started it. He went a different direction. I said, okay, I'm going to start a Word with Dad. And that's when I wrote the page out.
Okay. Wow. That's right.
Oh, I keep getting it wrong. Listen, I act like, my bad. I'm talking to them. She told me, you just said it, Leslie. You know me. What it,
face the camera.
Look at the camera. Look.
But it's good because,
I'm sorry.
Because now that they get the interaction between all of us, and we facing each other.
Yeah. It's a conversation. And the thing with it is parents aren't having conversations with their kids nowadays. It's always go do this, go do that. You barking sometimes. Or I break this down. A lot of parents might be mad at me. My son he used to play for Hermitage. He got beat by LC Bird, and he was upset. You know, oh, Dad, I lost. You know what I said? I said, so what? I'm not going to give you a trophy. Get in the weight room, work out, get yourself better, and beat them next year. And that's what they did. Mm-hmm. That's what we're supposed to do. Like, a football player for the Steelers said that. He was like, he doesn't believe in the second place trophies, the participation trophies. That's cool. You can do that. But let's make sure that these kids understand, if you lose, losing is a great thing. Losing is great because you then learn how to appreciate the wins. Mm-hmm. You learn how to get stronger. And too many people say, oh, Darryl, you're still a winner in my eyes. No, you know what, Darryl? You lost. I love you, but you lost. Right. You lost.
What are you going to do better next time?
What are you going to do to make yourself
What did you learn from this?
What did you learn?
Right.
Lessons. So that's what a word with Dad is. You got to have those hard conversations. Mama, you can love up on him all day. I'm going to love him, but I'm going to give him that love that's going to prepare him also to deal with when he doesn't get that job that somebody else in the office gets on him. Okay, well, do what they don't do.
And put that toughness around their skin, because
it's tough.
I've seen so many youth. There's nothing wrong with being sensitive, okay?
But Ralph
Tresvant. But to a certain extent, you also have to have your armor on too, as opposed to being sensitive.
Yeah.
There has to be a balance. You can't be totally sensitive and become a victim. There has to be a balance, because you are God's creation, and there's a balance. You are greatness and you are fault at the same time. But you have to learn from these faults and the things that you're doing and take it to heart to get better at what you're doing when you're moving forward in life.
Well, we teach our kids that loss is bad. Loss is not bad. Loss is a part of life. Mm-hmm. You're gonna lose. That's a part of growth. If you win all the time, when you lose, you got cats jumping out of windows. You know, jumping off a bridge. I can't believe I just lost. I'm gonna jump off a bridge. No, you're supposed to lose in life. And I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm joking with suicide, because that's a serious thing. However, it starts when they are young. Let's raise them to understand loss is something that happens. Okay, you lost. You know what you do? You learn from that loss and become stronger. If you don't become stronger, you have to learn from the loss. You have to. Mm-hmm. Because you're going to lose. One day you're going to lose.
I want to just add this when we're talking about kids having that conversation, or you having a conversation. Sometimes our kids aren't always open and willing to have those conversations. And when they're not, because again, sometimes as a parent, they don't want to come to you.
Oh, yeah.
But as a parent, I feel like you have to let them know. And when Brianna was getting older and we started talking about sex and things like that, I explained to her, both of my children actually, if you can't come and talk to me, there's got to be an adult that you can talk to. Somebody you feel safe with, somebody you feel comfortable in having those conversations. Whereas with my son, as Rashawn was getting older and growing up, I found that he reached out to my mom a lot, where they had conversations. With Bree, she probably talks to me more than Dre does, but I know Bree can go and talk to her dad if she wants, if there's something she needs to talk about. Yeah. And so, as they say, that whole village concept, create that village where your child knows I can go to Aunt Joyce, I can go to Uncle Bob and have these conversations if I can't talk to my mom, if I'm not feeling comfortable with her, because there's got to be somebody that they can have those conversations with. Because you don't want them having that conversation with the girl down the street or the boy on the bus who learned something from watching Porky's from 1982.
I'm sorry. Let me correct Leslie, because she just told her, hey, they watch Pornhub now. They watch Pornhub. Don't think that your kids ain't watching that. Hey,
that's right.
You go to your kid's phone and go to the search bar. You put P.O. in it. I bet you Pornhub come
and
across
take a girl into the high school bleachers.
Yeah.
Oh, they wild with it. They wild with it.
Yeah, on the school bus.
Oh, man. Like I said, and that's what I was saying about the rolling the carpet. Funny story. My daughter, love her to death. She just came, she just took that step to womanhood. You know, y'all know what it is. Her mother texted me and said,
"It's all right to talk on this."
Yeah, oh yeah. Her mother texted me and said, "Our little lady has taken her step to womanhood. She's started her cycle. You may want to call and talk to her." I was going to talk to her anyway because I told my son, I said, "I think your sister is going through something because her attitude is all over the place." She told Wyatt that he wasn't her brother anymore. Fussing. So I said, "Your sister got to get ready to come on her cycle."
Okay, and for the ladies, I'm gonna have to defend us. Just because there's something going on does not always mean a woman is on her period.
But at that
or
age,
getting ready to come on. Even at that age.
Okay. So when I called, her mother had to talk with her already because it happened at night. So I called her. That it was later that night, and I said, "Hey, baby girl, I said, hey, this is a part of life. Make sure that when you go to school, if you have to go to the bathroom, go whisper it to the teacher. Say, hey, don't just say, I need to, don't be." I said, make sure you take some wipes so you can, get the twingy twangy. Make sure you don't have no twingy twangy smell. I talk to my kids like this,
And you have to.
Yeah, I said, make sure you don't have that twingy twangy smell, So wipe yourself, clean yourself off. I said, make sure you wrap it up. And she said, "Daddy, mommy did this and that." And we parent from a dual parent. We're not living in the same house, but we come at it from both ways.
Together well.
Yeah, because a father, I look at it a different way than a mother does. And that's the problem nowadays.
And I'm glad you said that, Woody, because you have to have that co-parenting relationship. And not just having that co-parenting, but again, you have to make sure that your child is comfortable in a place that they can talk to both parents. Now I'm gonna go back to when my mother was preparing me for my period. She put a pad in my book bag and said, "Hey, if it happens, here's the pad in the bag."
One of them big super bags.
Exactly.
Look like a goddamn notebook.
Right. Go to the bathroom. Here's your pad. So that was her way in preparing me. And of course, Bree and I had the conversation. Yeah. But, and I hope Bree doesn't get mad at me for saying this, but when Bree started her cycle, she was actually at her dad's house when that happened. And so that's why I'm saying, and I'm glad you're on the show,
dads don't know
that as a father, you have to have that relationship with not just your sons, but your daughters. You have to be able to talk to both of them about an array of things. And, Bree felt comfortable in going to her father and saying, "Hey, Dad, I just started my period." And like I said, she wasn't at home, of course.
What do you want me to do about that?
That was not
I don't even know what type pass.
Yeah.
No,
Brianna's father handled business.
Or do I get you to stay free? I don't know.
Yeah, her father handled business.
But we going to the store.
So,
Dad. Call your auntie.
Dad, start doing your research on what needs to be done for your daughter, because when it's not the same sex, sometimes it's hard to have the conversation. Like when Drayshawn was growing up, and we had to have the conversation about getting hard in the morning and all that kind of stuff. His penis being erect. That wasn't a conversation I had with him. And, it's probably a conversation maybe that I could have been more well versed on to be able to talk to him about that. But Brianna's father, who I was married to at the time, had that conversation with Drayshawn. I think my mother had the conversation with him as well, and that's why I was saying that village is so important. So your children have different people that they can go to for those conversations.
I was in a barbershop one time. This lady said, this is a true story too. I get my hair cut at Supremes. Well, I have no more hair, so I just get my face trimmed at Supremes. A lady said she brought her son to the barbershop. First off, I think that a barbershop is a man's not domain, but that's our getaway. That's where we go.
The man cave.
That's the man cave, outside of the man cave. That's where you go. You can buy batteries, soap, get your car wash. You can get DVDs.
Buy burger.
You can get everything. But the lady was in there, and I always, try to talk to people. She said, well, I'm the daddy. I can tell them everything. I said, oh, you really can? I said, okay. I said, you tell them everything. She said, yeah. I said, so everything, right? She said, everything. I said, okay. How does it feel? And, how does it feel for a man to get to that point? How does it feel? And she said, I don't know. I said, you can't tell them everything.
Right.
I said, you can only tell them what someone has told you.
Right.
Maybe it be lying, maybe it's lying, maybe it's not, but I can't tell my daughter how to feel when it comes down to her having that first experience. I can tell her to make sure that you just don't let it be a roll in the rug. That's the most important thing you have. So you make a man earn that. Don't just give it to a guy, because you're going to get those feelings. Hormones are going to kick in. But when those hormones kick in, make sure that you relegate yourself and act accordingly. And that's just me and my daughter have had that conversation. She got a little friend, and it is what it is.
So at what
She ain't done nothing.
what point?
You know they're gonna play at some point.
Man.
How old was your daughter when you started having sex? Was it you or was it Lisa who had the conversation first? And how old was your daughter?
Well, she met the little kid first. When I did meet him, he gave me the respect that he should have. However, I see it from a 13-year-old mind. When I was 13, we was looking at Playboy magazines, sneaking watching Cinemax at night.
That's right.
That old soft porn. It ain't even soft porn. It's just a white boob.
Let me tell y'all something real quick about porn. So y'all know I just came back from Jamaica.
Oh, y'all saw that?
Yeah. Came back from Jamaica. So I'm sitting in my room, just chilling, and I'm flipping through the channels. So I hit one channel, and I'm like, okay, a little sex. So I go to the next channel. I see two women. They're all engaged with each other. I flip to another channel. So in Jamaica, in your resort room, it's like 3 full channels of porn. So you didn't have to pay for it. It was just like watching regular TV.
I gotta get on my fire stick and go to the Jamaican channel.
Free all day.
Free all day.
Mash it up.
Mash it up. Stella watching people get her groove back. Irie.
That was part of the inclusive package.
Yeah, right. That's the all-inclusive. Yeah. You get licking porn channels. I bet the kids love that when they go over there.
Yeah. But I don't know if it was because of the resort I was at or how that worked out. But
you didn't have your kids there. They would have been, hey, Mom, I'll stay. Y'all go to the beach. I'll stay in the room all day.
They were like, me and Mom will stay in the room.
Yeah. Hey, look, kids, y'all go down to y'all go get some y'all go get some confish or something. Yeah. Me and Mom's gonna stay here today.
Some red snap.
Yeah, some red snap.
And jerk chicken.
Jerk chicken. Yeah, jerk. But we crazy. So when I had that for my son, and Woody is watching this, and he's probably gonna be like, Dad, when he talked to me.
Now, for those of you who don't know, Woody is your middle,
Okay, Woody is my oldest son.
Okay.
Woody played football at Hermitage, and he got a full scholarship to Virginia Union. He's a senior at Virginia Union. Good kid. But I remember it was a senior skip day. I remember when we dropped him off, he went to his little girlfriend out, and he came home. I picked him up, and I was like, hey, boy. I said, you been fucking? I said it just like that. I'm sorry. I said it just like that.
Remember we had a conversation when the three of us had that meeting?
Yeah, I said it just like that.
He got a cigar. He thought he was like,
I said, yeah. There it was. So I said, you been fucking? And he was like, Dad, how'd you know? I said, son, let me tell you something. I said, I'm going to teach you something from a man. If you go to your girlfriend's house and you're going to do something like that, take your own soap. Because that's how we can tell. That's how, and see, I'm spit game. You know how men get caught cheating? Because they go to their girlfriend's house and they use their soap. Using that goddamn bed bath, or what is Bath and Body,
Victoria's Secret.
Victoria's Secret. So
But look,
take your funky Irish Spring with you.
no, I heard what you do is you go to the gas station.
Oh man, that's too much work. That's too much work. That's too much work.
Then you drop a little gas so you can
Drop a
go
little
home
gas.
smelling like
Drop a little
gas.
gas and wash your ass. Yeah, right. But
I smell like I was in the boiler room.
I smell like that soup. But I mean, you know, and it wasn't. I mean, it brought on the conversation. Even though I joke about it here, it brought on the conversation of, okay, listen, you can talk to me about anything. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. We have to break these barriers.
Yeah.
It's already a wall. My sons say that. They always tell me, Dad, you're not cool. But every one of their friends said, man, you got a cool ass dad.
I want your dad.
Your dad is cool. And the reason being is because whenever I see any kid, I say, what's up, ugly? I say that to him. And one mama said, why you call my son ugly? I said, would you rather me call him cute?
Right.
So when I say that, they're like, oh, I see. So it's just a thing of I try to break down the walls. I listen to their music. I listen to every music that my sons listen to and my daughter.
Here's a question for you.
Okay.
And you can answer this question as well, Chris. Now, I'll lead by saying, Dre didn't tell me. Dre is my oldest. Dre is 27. But when Bree had sex for the first time, she felt comfortable enough coming to tell me. I think she was a little hesitant at first, but she felt comfortable in coming to me and saying to me, I had sex and blah, 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 blah. Now, prior to that, I would tell her, make sure he's got a condom, have the conversation. If you can, hold on to your virginity. If you can't, but let me prepare you.
Make it late, you good.
And so I felt great as a parent knowing that all the conversations that we had prior to, she was able to come to me and tell me about that experience. Now, I don't want to know about her, what she was doing,
what it did.
but I'm just glad that she came. Right, I'm just glad that she came to me and she had the conversation. Now, what was it like for you? Did both of your boys tell you about having sex?
Yeah.
So what was it like for you having two boys? And then you're going to answer the same question about your kids. How did you feel with them coming to you talking about sex after they had had it?
Woody didn't tell me. I knew.
From the soap. He didn't go to the gas station.
Wyatt, he really didn't tell me. It was just a hiccup happened and he had to tell me.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't get nobody pregnant, but the girl tried to, she said that she was pregnant. She sent a picture of an old birth control thing that was all brown on an old table, and she said,
the flim-flam.
Yeah, the flimmy. But now they talk to me about it, and I have to really tell because we're comfortable. I really have to say, look, man, I don't want to know all that. Cool, just protect yourself. But my sons are very responsible. I always told them, and I'll let you speak on it, my man.
Yeah.
Do it better than I did.
But how do you feel about them coming to you and telling you those things?
I feel great.
Okay.
I feel great. It's one of the greatest joys of my life. Even my daughter, she talks to me to a degree, but she'll say like, Daddy, I just know you don't want to hear it. I said, but cool, you told me.
Right.
Cool. Don't want to hear it, but you told me. Sorry. Sorry. But I always try to have that open line of communication. And that is where things start and that's where it ends. It should begin and end with that.
Okay. Chris?
I think I'm going to do this in a progressive moment real quick.
Okay.
I just always said, if you decide to, especially with my son, these are the condoms, this and that, and the third. But I think I started doing that maybe at the age of 13, 14 years old.
That's when mine started.
Because I know for me, that's when my eyes, like the veil came off, the veil came off, like, oh, yo, Chief.
What is that?
Man, she got nice legs. She got nice. So that's when the veil came off. So I was like, oh man. I said, I know, he started his beard started coming in a little bit early. So I was like, damn, let me go ahead and step in here. And even my youngest daughter was younger at that time, but I kind of got them together at the same time. So I'm talking about this, and the girl's different.
Yeah.
Separate.
Okay.
But the boy, I supposed him to decide the girls was different.
Yeah.
But I said, if you need them, I have them. They're here.
Yeah.
I did that. I first found out that my son was having sex earlier than I thought that nigga was having some sex because I was around him and some of his friends in the house. We was playing PlayStation and all that. And we was just having a conversation going back and forth. And one of them was like, yeah, you remember that time we was at blah, 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 and we did this?
Told
And I was like, damn, like, oh.
Told
So I turned around and looked at like,
it's like code 10. Abort.
he didn't mean to.
Abort. Code 10.
But sometimes you told too much and it just came out.
You told too much. And you looking at your shut the fuck up. That's what you do. Nigga, shut up.
But then I was just like, now that that's out the way. And so we started to have that conversation that day. Everything just came out. Was able to have that conversation and do that because it came out in that aspect.
What it's about.
I wasn't really, matter of fact, I was hyped because like, damn, you know. But you know, it's different when you do men and females. It's different. So I'm like, yo, he at a young age, he getting it. You know, he trying to, or whatever that is. He's having experience. But I always told him, just, you know, be able to protect yourself. Make sure I can't teach you how to do X, Y, and Z.
I ain't gonna show you
But
my position.
make sure she get hers first.
She's gonna get hers.
Get hers first, and then whatever you do after that is just icing on the cake.
I
didn't get that deep. I didn't get that deep. I was like, boy,
I don't want to rush the stroke.
Look, I ain't get that deep. Look, I ain't get that deep.
Let's be Eleanor's comment.
I was deep, but not that deep.
Eleanor says, I always wanted my kids to feel free to talk to me about anything and everything.
Man, right. The best thing, and that's the greatest point. That's the key right there.
Real quick, before you
Go
go.
ahead.
So I had this friend, and her daughter was young having sex. And so she was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's having sex. You know, if I find out this, that, and the other, I'm going to put her out.
Oh.
I think as a parent, that's probably one of the worst things you can do as a parent, because when your child is young and they're experiencing sex, of course it's going to be a whole lot different than if they were older. And so that's the time that they need your support, especially if she gets pregnant. That's when she needs your support. She's scared. She doesn't know what to do. Worried about whether or not the boy is going to be there. But again, to be young, because I was young and pregnant, and my mother was there for me. And so, you know, my mother guided me through the process, helped me to make. She didn't force any decisions on me. I made my own decisions. But that is the worst thing you can do is turn your back on a child who's engaging in sexual activity, who gets pregnant, and something happens. You've got to be there to support
Conversations.
them. Have the conversations. And that's important. When you have the conversations initially,
it's easy.
And it gives your child a path,
They
and
might
that's a guide for them.
They might say something about it.
And then some of the things that you may say to them may make them say in that conversation, you know what? Just like you talked about, don't just give it away, make him work for it. Well, you know what? My daddy told me, Woody Winborn told me to make you work for it, and you are not working for it. And that's what we have to tell our daughters. That's what we have to tell our sons as well. We have to tell them, help them to understand their self-worth. Help them to understand how precious their vagina is, how precious their penis is, and not just giving it away. You know, because in this era, in this day and age, it's just like, woo! When you got kids having sex on the bus, oral sex on the bus,
in the bathroom,
and it's something that's common. Yeah. You know, you think back to when we were younger and we were in high school. You know, it's like
sex was taboo,
right? And if somebody was doing this, she's a freak, and this, that, and the other. Well, now, woo, you better be getting it in. You better be doing this.
Especially if your boys, your girls on some type of cheerleader, some type of
I was getting ready to say
something like that.
I was getting ready to say that.
Something that was considered taboo, or what we was doing, what we wasn't doing. there was, I don't know. Some people say you go to college campuses and different things like that. They got a set of people out there for that, already coming ready for it. But in high school, I mean, we would just go chill somewhere, something like that, and somebody, it was already doing oral. They was already doing anal. They was doing a lot of shit that most parents wouldn't even imagine they was doing.
Exactly.
And they was doing the opposite thing because they didn't want their parents to find out they was trying to get their cherry busted or whatever that may be. But
so on that subject, I had what I told when my daughter, because this is definitely something I've talked to her about. She said, "Why do you view me as being different than the boys?" I explained to the boys, "Son, do it better than me. Make sure it's worth it because you're going to carry that woman for the rest of your life. When you lose your virginity, it's going to be the rest of your life. It'll never be like the first because that's the first." Now, I always told them, make sure that you look at it that way. Don't just give yourself to anyone. I told my daughter, because she said the same thing. Well, you let Woody and them do this. I said, baby, you got to understand, you are the hunted. Men are hunters. And we're going to break this down. We're going to get with it. By nature, men are hunters. By nature. We're mammals. So what if you look at every other mammal?
And real quick for everybody who just tuned in, Michael Branch, Archie Smith, Tara Clark, thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. Our guest is Mr. Woody Winborn. He is the creator and host, and I said creator. I should have said creator. He is the creator and the host of A Word with Dad. So right now we're just having conversations from the perspective of a dad, just to bring you all up to speed. Real quick, just to read the comments. Eleanor said, Chris?
Eleanor stated that she says, I always want my kids to feel free to talk to me about anything, which you should. And Gwen says, Lord knows I'm not ready for that, but my daughter, but I agree with you, Les. That day coming, feelings are coming, some hormones is the chemistry. If you think the chemistry that adults have with each other, it's like 100 times worse for a teenager, straight up. It's just what it is. And Laz and Woody mentioned something a little bit earlier about, if your daughter gets somebody pregnant or if your son gets somebody pregnant.
Bro, no, not
if your daughter gets somebody pregnant.
No, man, well, you know.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. I was going to say, whoa.
Let's switch that around.
That would be on A&E.
Right.
That would be on A&E if your daughter gets somebody pregnant.
That's some strange-ish. But we don't really understand or know how that situation happened. Because it could have been forced on her. She may not have been, know how to come about to tell you certain things, and so that the third. So that aspect of a parent saying, hey, I'm going to put you out if you get pregnant. Ooh, that's bad because, give her some time to bring that issue about and talk to you about it because it may not have went down like you thought it has. It's not looking at her like she a hoe or she this and that, she the third. Don't do that.
All right, can you read Gwen's comment?
I did.
You read?
She said she ain't ready for that. Gwen said she ain't ready for that.
She said she ain't ready for that, but she said she agrees with you. But I told her, remember before I began that, I told her, I said, that time is coming.
I'm sorry.
So prepare yourself because, and I was saying about the chemistry, but even as adults, we have chemistry, with the opposite sex. So, you know what's coming. So, and for teenagers, I know for me it was 100 times worse. You be out on a date with Chicky at the movies or everything is fine and you're holding hands and, sharing popcorn and, you be like,
That thing get busy.
Anybody in here?
That thing get busy.
We about to go now?
Oh my God. We're getting ready to delve.
But
let's read one more comment.
Go ahead.
All right, and Eleanor says, when I told my daughter it was time to have that talk, she asked me what I needed to know. She said, it was like, damn. So she was always...
School, man.
She had educated herself.
School.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick question.
Streets and school.
Real quick question, Eleanor. When you found that she had educated herself, did you ask her...
Where she learned from?
What did she... And what did she learn specifically? What did she learn specifically? Go ahead, Woody.
But I just try to make sure I differentiate. Girls have to understand, you have one thing that is yours. That is yours. Can't nobody take it. I look at it like an education. When you get that education, can't nobody come and say, whew, you're not going to be educated anymore. That body is hers. Cherish it. Make sure that you don't just lay with anything. Because nowadays you have a lot of girls that are doing it behind peer pressure. They're saying it's too... No, say
low
that.
self-esteem.
Say that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, man.
And low self-esteem is not always the guy who is pressuring her. That is a factor. But you have young ladies out here with low self-esteem.
A misconception of what love is.
Right,
Well,
misconception of what love is.
And that
so
breaks it
again,
down into the dad. If you don't... The first man that a woman falls in love with or is supposed to fall in love with is her daddy.
Mm-hmm.
The first woman that a man is supposed to fall in love with is his mother. Not fall in love, but love. They teach you, usually you're going to date a woman that looks like your mother.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not literally.
Puts you in the mind.
In the mind. Similarity. She's going to be, I don't like tall women, my mom's short. Mm-hmm. I like short women. Women.
Until you get older one.
Until you get older. But girls will, if they see that their dad is not around, doesn't go to work, doesn't do what he's supposed to do, then what happens is now you have, my daughter, when we go to the store, you know what I do? And this is very true. Anybody, I say, Shay, where are you supposed to be? She'll say, inside, daddy, inside. Teach your daughters what it means to walk on and the boys. Walk with your lady on the inside of you. Teach them the real reason.
Teach your daughters to command respect.
And
Even to command respect.
I'm going to add this on.
Okay.
At a young age, guys used to look crazy at me when I went to the feminine aisle.
Mm-hmm.
I bought feminine products not only for my grandmother, I bought them for my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't give a shit. They taught me,
You better than me.
it's better to know understand sizes because when you get old, you're going to teach to your same to your daughters.
Right. Exactly. Do y'all watch the show
Not my mom,
on it's either Showtime or Stars? Oh my gosh, what is the name of the show?
Condoms.
The Shy. Does anybody watch The Shy? There's an episode of The Shy, and there's this little boy on there, a little chunky little boy. He's so funny. His name is Papa.
Chunky but funky.
And so Papa, this other little boy, one of the main characters, and another little boy go to the store. The little dark-skinned boy's mother is the one who actually sends them. They get to the store, and Papa, little boy had to be about 12, calls the dark-skinned boy's mother and say, Miss Jones, so what do you want? Do you want with the pearls? Do you want the stem? Do you want the this? Do you want the that? Because his mom had already educated him about what kind of things to purchase.
She got that man there buying feminine products.
But he knew.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
So that is even
I would call it
masculinity more.
I would call it an aunt.
I'm good about the college level.
I would call it an aunt. I don't know.
And
I don't know what type of stuff. I would call it an aunt.
And the condoms too.
Well, I feel like I try to tell my sons, make sure you have your own condoms because nowadays it's a wicked game. But sex isn't the only thing that we really delve into. We delve into death.
Diseases.
We talk about death. We talk about life. We talk about everything. There's no one thing we have taboos with our kids. I'm not going to talk to my son about that. That's an adult conversation.
No.
Hey, bruh, I'm going to talk to you like this. Hey, bruh, if you think you're having an adult conversation with your sons, you don't want to have it, there's somebody in the streets on Instagram. Look at their social media. I swear. You go to the DM section. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell a story. This lady I knew, she was fussing at her daughter. I don't know what she's doing. I said, well, what's wrong? What happened? She sent naked pictures to a boy. Mm-hmm. I said, okay. I said, well, did you talk to her? Yeah, she up in the room. I took her phone. I said, well, look. Hold on. I said, you send naked pictures to me. Come on. We got to be real with each other. That's a problem. We got to be real. You send naked pictures. So why you going to fuss at your daughter?
That's in her DNA.
And I'm not even going to get that deep. But I'm going to say, be careful what you do because they're doing it too.
Mm-hmm.
Let me add this to what you're saying. But if you're that parent that finds that your child is sending those new photos,
well, get them off the phone first.
Get them off the phone.
That's
You're upset, of course, But again, you got to have the conversation because you don't know where, if it's not you that's actually taking these pictures, you got to find out where did you get this? What makes you think this is cool? But then you have to educate them. Hey, do you realize this little boy don't give a shit about you?
If he asks,
He's sending all these pictures to all his friends. He's showing all the little boys in the gym class what you done sent to him. They talking about you and saying all kinds of things. Because as teenagers, and I'm sure we all have, as teenagers, we make the worst, and sometimes as adults, we make the worst decisions. But as a teenager, as a child, when you don't know any better, and you're following Sue, who lives down the street, and you're letting Bob, this jackass, convince you that you need to be doing these things, especially when you haven't had the conversation with your child,
and you
then
go to jail on that shit.
this is the perfect opportunity for you to have the conversation. Yo, you gotta value yourself. No, you don't send these pictures. No, just like what he said, you make him work for it. Again, you have to have the conversation because we are not with our children all of the time. And the times that they are not with us, you want to prepare them for the times where they're with the little boy down the street who done slept with everybody who's seen Pornhub, X-Hamster, all
the kids
that
say they
stuff.
got body counts.
Oh,
that's what the kids say. They got body counts. Y'all, if you got a kid in high school, just ask them some questions. Say, hey, what do
pick
you
up on that lingo.
Pick up on that lingo. I'll tell you, my oldest son told me one time. He said, Dad, she got bodies. Ooh. And when they say she got, I'm thinking like,
you done killed somebody.
Let's find where the bodies is buried. Right. I'm turning her in. I'm snitching because you know, and we gonna get her out of here. But this is what the kids are talking about.
Right.
Sex is no longer. I remember when I was young. We wouldn't. You remember when we were growing up? You wouldn't even see a pair of titties on the TV screen. If you saw this much, it was like rated R.
You remember way back on Lucy, on they didn't even sleep in the same bed. They didn't sleep in the same bed.
They had twin size beds.
Right, exactly. So you didn't see that.
Now,
you did not see that.
Now you see it on the shop.
Regular TV.
On the shop.
Regular TV. No, but the shot is on cable.
Oh.
I'm talking about ABC, CBS, NBC.
They say
bitch. They say shit, and you can see you can see partial nudity scenes on TV. Real quick, Chris, let's read these comments real quick.
And then the president just grabbed him out.
I'm grab my hoo-hoo. Sorry.
And nothing happened.
No politics.
I don't know what said that she said that she left nothing unsaid, and I was relieved that she had educated herself.
That's right.
That was the last hold on, let me see what's up here. For some reason,
they posted
it comes a little bit later to your phone.
Mine is delaying a little bit. All right, so Mama, hey, how you doing? Marie says, please make sure you talk to your children about all these diseases, HIV, the syphilis, the gonorrheas, and all of them, and let them know about, I don't want to touch nothing too...
Yeah, if you touch more, you're good. Oh, shit, it's not plugged up?
No, hold on, low power.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, can you take it from the bottom? Because I plugged it up. Because the phone is going to go out. All
right, hold on.
Charge it up.
Okay, we don't want the phone to go out in the middle of
a good conversation.
Nah, we ain't gonna do that. Nah, I mean.
Alright, messages came up, y'all. Low power mode.
So, close.
Alright.
So, and again, that is protection, and that's important because a lot of these diseases that our children may be catching or adults are catching, you can't get rid of that shit no more. Mm-hmm. You know, that's first and foremost. So, one of my boys, if you watching this shit, I don't give a fuck. It's just a point that some people think they latex. They think they protect it from everything. They think they God for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get no illness. You don't get no shit, no breaking down. They don't have sex with condoms. So,
better wear them.
That's crazy. So, again, all I'm saying is, wear them shits.
What
Lil Wayne said you better wear that latex so you don't get that latex. Hey, I listen to rap music. That's another thing. Mm-hmm. Music. You remember growing up when your parents say, God damn it, I don't know what you listen to that shit for. It ain't gonna be around for 20 years. Mm-hmm. That shit gonna die off.
That's going forever.
Ever.
As long as we got something to play it on, I do want to tell y'all this real quick. True story. Damn, I forgot the story real quick. One of the things that happened to me, and Woody talked about, he mentioned it earlier, fellas, females. I'm just putting the finger to the fellas right now. Just buy your own condoms. Have your father, your mother buy your own condoms for you. You buy your own and you use your own.
Yeah.
In high school, somebody put holes
They do it.
in the condom. And I'm thinking they being proactive and being protective. I'm like appreciative of that shit. And
shooting up the club.
Being in
It's
there.
not in the book, is it? About
You shooting up
it's related to that stuff?
Yes.
You shooting up the
Alright,
club.
I want to say this real quick, y'all. Y'all know March is our March month of men. You want to come on in March? Let me know.
Yeah.
March month of men.
You
Chris
shooting
is
up
our
the club.
first.
For real.
Chris will be our first verse. Y'all wait. I can't even talk. Wait till y'all hear
Don't
about
even know.
open wounds. That's what we doing in March. I know it's like way off, but Chris just made me think of the book. Great stuff in the book. Can't wait to March. All right, go ahead. So, and we have now secured Woody for March. All right.
And it was just one of those things where you have females, even when I got older, and you thinking females more mature, this not the third. There are females out there who will poke holes in they condoms. You wearing they Jones, and and they was like, no, don't move. You have your orgasmic experience. No, don't move. Just chill here with me for a minute.
Go pee.
Nah, bro, you need to go ahead and hop up immediately. Come back and cuddle after the fact.
Alright, so I'm surrounded by men tonight. What advice do you give to your sons about women? Like, oh, she'll do this and she'll do that. Watch out for this or watch out for that. What advice do y'all give y'all sons?
You mean and for a woman that will do anything for him?
Let's say, like with my son, I'm very protective of Dre because Dre is like super shy. He's very reserved. So I don't like anybody that Dre'Shawn dates or whatever. I hate all of them. I don't hate them, but I don't really like a lot of them. But I would probably say to Dre'Shawn, if you get somebody pregnant, if by chance a comic bus, whatever the case may be, find out. Make sure that's your baby. Like, what kind of warnings do you give your son when it comes to women? I guess that's the better way to ask. What warnings do you give your sons when it comes to women?
I would say this first, and you just mentioned something about, I'm pregnant, this and this, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's go get the doctors together.
Real quick, my man Jamel, what's up? He just posted on, he just said there's no conversation. What's up, brother? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem at all. One of the things I would say, because when I was out running around hustling on the street, you have women, not to say that you will not give to them or help them in their situations, but they tell you, I'm pregnant, this happened, blah, 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 right? Don't just give money, because money is I would say the root of most evil. Not all, but most evil. Okay. And sometimes that women know that they can gain and get it from you. They're going to get it from you if you're going to give it. So when somebody talking about, they pregnant, let's go to the doctors first. Let's see, or let's take a pregnancy test first. That's the cheapest way. You know what I'm saying? You go in the bathroom with her. She piss on a little thing.
Oh Lord.
And make sure that she is
go in the
not.
bathroom with her?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Don't let her go in there and you come out. They be tucking shit. Oh boy. They be tucking shit in the bag, the purse pocket, somewhere, in the shoe, in the sock, whatever.
Conversation is hot, y'all. Conversation is hot. So, hey to my niece who is watching. I always like to shout out my family. Hey, Belle.
Hey, but just make sure that ain't happening. You go in there with her while she doing what she doing, and you see everything, and therefore, when the thing come up, you know it's accurate and it's true.
You talking about the pregnancy?
Yes.
Why? All right. So we that's real. But I'm gonna bring it back to the kids. But real quick, I had my man Bones. That's family. What's up, Bones? I also had my man Jamel Bones Malone. That's my guy.
Hold on, real quick. So y'all, Woody actually has a watch party that's going on. So unfortunately, we can't see those comments. So Woody's gonna share those comments with us, and he's gonna address the questions that are coming from the watch party.
Yeah, my man Bones, what's happening? My man Jamel said, when your mama is a freak, how do you tell your daughter not to be one? Oh, that's a heavy one. I guess.
Let me hear this, y'all. Let me hear this.
I guess if I was to come across it,
Whistle song.
Yeah,
What the hell is the whistle song?
that's Yin Yang Twin.
Yin Yang Twin.
But I guess if I was to come across that situation and my daughter's mom, or or a woman's out and I'm helping, I would try to tell her to put a little bit of value on. I would try to tell her just put a little bit of value on what she does and how she carries herself, and then once again I would just try to tell her it's more important than having the experience is going to be the experience. Mm-hmm. All right, so we're going to break this down. Sex, at the end of the day, I don't care how long it lasts. It can last an hour, it can last 10 minutes. It's only not even two. It's only a 1.5 to 2 minute feeling of euphoria. That's where that's the climactic stage.
Everybody at the same time.
So now, with that being said, you want good Lord, guys. So with that being said, you want to tell your kids to understand that, and raise them to realize that it's bigger than that. Because outside of that 10-minute thing that goes on, you still gotta talk to that person for 23 hours and 45 minutes. I see all these posts. People put too much on sex. First off, they put too much on sex. You have to take the power away from it, And Jamel, that's what I would tell you to do. Take the power out of it. Take the power away from the sex. Mm-hmm. And then maybe you'll get her to cherish what the most prized possession she has of hers is, that if her mama choose to give the treasure out to every pirate, you tell her not to. I'm just saying, sometimes you gotta break it down to these kids. Yeah. They all watch Pirates of the Caribbean.
So something they can see, they can relate to.
Yeah, break it down to these kids, man.
Wait a minute.
That's the problem.
You just said, make sure the treasure is not going to the pirate.
Don't give the treasure out to every pirate, man.
Pirates are always looking for treasure.
They're always looking for treasure.
Alright, matey.
Alright, matey. I'm just saying. But that's the problem. That's the problem,
You know what? I'm sorry. I know you probably mean some of this to be funny. And y'all, let me say this. It is not even the wine tonight. Having these two in the room together, I cannot with these two.
But I'm talking to my kids about this every single day. I talk to my kids about this. If you don't relate to these kids, someone else will.
That's true.
Someone else will. So you better relate to them, in every aspect of their life. And if me and her watch Star Wars, well, not even Star Wars, let's talk about what's the movie of today they watch.
Real quick. Please read Eleanor's comment, because that's some funny shit.
Eleanor crazy.
Eleanor is off the damn train. Eleanor, make sure you join
A Word with Dad, because I need her.
A Word. Yes, you will love Eleanor. She's one of our ACHs. She's the head. Shit, what is it? She's the honorary co-host.
Yeah.
Eleanor and Ashley hold it down for us.
So Eleanor says, my daughter's mama is still a freak. You see how she labeled us?
It is. Ta-da! You hear that? You hear that video? Ta-da! It is. Ta-da!
And then she had a note to put, I'm just kidding. I said, no, you're not.
Eleanor, cut it out.
We love you, Eleanor.
Eleanor, I don't know you, but you're cool. You speak in my
she is.
Love you.
But that's a big thing. And that's why I did this Word with Dad. Because nobody tells the truth to these kids. Like, everybody says, don't do this and don't do that.
Why?
You remember why did they do that?
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Why
They
would you
know why? Just like if you whooping their ass.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I didn't tell my kids why I was whooping their ass. They looking at me like, damn.
Look.
So you gotta have that conversation on why this is happening.
Well, I'm beyond.
Same thing with sex.
Yeah, I'm beyond. Like I couldn't. I think the last time. I think Wyatt. I had to give Wyatt a spanking. I'm not a big spanking dad. When they got a little bit older, Wyatt had pilfered. That's a good word. He pilfered my car. Pilfered. And he drove to a girl house. I was asleep.
He lifted your car?
Yeah, he lifted my car.
Wait a minute.
He
And this is something we're going to incorporate new on EDP365. Word of the day.
Pilfer.
The first word is
Delve.
delve. The second word is
Pilfer.
we're going to go ahead. Pilfer.
Pilfer.
Now, look, that's a very
I think that's a real word.
Yeah.
But he took my car and he went to it. Seriously, he took my car. This is a true story. And he went to this girl house.
How old was he?
Wyatt was 15 when that happened.
Yo, that's a
And it was,
strong.
matter of fact, I was getting ready to pay for tickets for them to go see their mom. He got in my car, drove over there, didn't go in the house, got scared, and I'm finished. He came back, wrecked the car. I had to go get the car.
Damn.
So when I get in my car all mangled, tore up. Thank God he wasn't injured. So I asked him, I said, man, did you get some? He said, no. I said, you failed. Mission failed. Mission failed.
Mission was not accomplished.
You took my car. At least
It got absolutely nothing.
nothing. You can't even say, well, at least I got it.
Maybe cry.
At least I got it.
I can tell my daddy. He's like,
He told me
It was worth it.
He told me
It
I got
wasn't
scared.
worth it.
But I got scared. That was the last time I gave him a
Wait a
spanking.
minute. What kind of punishment did he get for that one?
I didn't let him get his license.
Okay.
I didn't let him get his license. But see, what people tend to do, I've done. I hope my mama ain't watching, but I've done that. I was that kid that would go do things. I would push the limits. I drove all the way down Azalea Avenue with a box of Schlitz malt liquor 45, an empty box of Schlitz malt liquor 45, the Bull, that's the Blue Bull,
Right.
hanging out my car door. And then I got home, my mom saw my car, she said, oh, have you been drinking? I said, no. She said, nigga, you're lying. You got a box of beer hanging out your car door.
if I did that, my mama would have beat me with. My
Well, she
mama,
took my
my
car.
father would have beat me with the can.
My dad won't around. She took my car. But the thing is when we talk to these kids, a lot of parents or us, we're parents. We act like we didn't do those things. Everything these kids are doing, we did before.
And they think they're ingenious, but they're not. We already know the game.
Bruh, you ain't having sex no different than your parents. I mean, we all done did that. I mean, I got tats. My son be like, you got tats? I said, yeah, what?
So real quick, y'all. You know, as I say, we have to have the conversations with our children, but sometimes we also have to extend ourselves to other people's children. So a big kudos and shout out to Nicole Fields.
Yeah.
Nicole Fields holds it down in Richmond.
Facts.
She gets these kids together. She has workshops and conferences for them, and she educates them and she talks to them. Have you ever thought about having like a conference for?
Yes.
No, you know what you did because we talked about
Get ready.
it. We talked about
What
it.
I'm setting up this year, this is for something, and I was talking about it last night. I'm doing a Father's Day dinner. I feel like on Mother's Day, and this not knocking y'all. On Mother's Day, we always say, "Hey, y'all get dressed. We're going to church, and then we're going to Red Lobster with your mother." But on Father's Day, we get socks and tie that we don't like, T-shirts, you know. However, I want to do a dinner where I have, you know, you good? Oh,
One of the things that now he said, ladies, children,
He's serious when he got to get close.
listen,
I tell you,
this is not right. We get T-shirts,
Socks.
socks,
ugly tie.
shoelaces, ties,
Damn, shoelaces.
whatever. You know what I'm saying? We work and we spend money to get the mother, the diamonds. I don't care. Dooney and Burke, coaches,
They go eat.
whatever that is, and you eat, and we do everything during the course of the
We
year
go
to
to
make
church.
sure that y'all have what you have. We don't get shit.
You think you're getting tired?
Straight up.
Well, you got the kids.
No.
And a tie.
But this is something I will point out.
It's not equal.
This is something I will point out too. And like I said, I'm never here to bash mothers because, like I said, my son's mother, me and her might not see eye to eye on some things, but she is a great She's great with my boy. She talks to him a lot. My daughter's mother is 150% way better than anything I could have ever imagined. However, on Mother's Day, mothers say, hey, I'm going out with the girls. Or me and the girls going to go get our nails done. Heck, whatever. On Father's Day, they say, take your kids somewhere. So let's do this. How about this? Let's all enjoy. You know, let's all enjoy.
Help me, damn Eleanor.
I know Eleanor. I know. What does she say?
Woody, she says, I give the ultimate gift myself.
Okay.
I can't.
Okay. I have that. Look, I have access to that. All I'm saying is, I would love at some point where a woman would step up.
Well, I'm not gonna bash
the family. Well, I'm not bashing them.
Yeah.
I'm telling the truth. I'm not bashing. I'm just telling the truth. True. Even when we talk about wedding day, it's more about y'all. But that's look, I've been married once or twice, all right?
Once or twice, you're not sure?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. Just to say, and men know what I'm talking about. We spend thousands on the women, things that they want, what they want to do. What do we do? I mean, not saying it's a love and all that shit like that, but sometimes, what other investment are y'all putting back into us as well?
But here's the thing. I'm gonna speak for the women.
Well,
if the woman in your life is not giving you the things that you need or the things that you want, you have to have the conversation. Hey, Woody, you know, babe, what is it that I'm not doing? What is it that you need? Are you missing something in the bedroom? What do you want me to do for you?
Conversation is everything.
So that you're happy in the relationship as well. If you sit silent, that's on you, bro.
And that breaks down. But that breaks down with the kids also. My sons and my daughter, they make sure that I, go out. They take me out to dinner. Woody will pay for me at the drop of a dime. Shay buys me shoes that I actually will wear. So
did you get that from my mother? Because we
no. Shay will go with me to the store and say, "Daddy, what do you want?" And
you posted something about her buying you something.
She bought me some 95 Air Maxes. My kids see, and because this is the subject, kids will keep you relevant. And when I say relevant, I was talking to my son the other day, and we were riding somewhere, and I said, "Son, I love you, and I thank you." He was like, "What you thanking me for?" I said, "Because I raised you, but you in turn raised me." You see what I'm saying? And that's what we gotta tell our kids. When we have kids, you grow as a parent, you grow as a human, you grow as a provider, you grow as everything. My kids saw me not eat sometimes. My kids, Woody my youngest son, Wyatt, I don't even say Woody all the time. Wyatt say, "Dad, one day we all gonna be on." And not even saying we all. But for him to say that, that's letting me know that he recognizes his dad is putting in some work. But not only do we put in work for me, he put in work for his mom too. Because what happens is a failed relationship is not a reason to do child support, to do bashing of the other parent. You cannot kill the foundation in which that kid has been built on.
But you know what, Woody? That says a lot about you as a parent. Because when you instill the right things in your children, you will see that come back to you. You will see that in the things that they do. You will see that in the decisions that they make based on how you raise them. And so if your children are buying things and they're doing things, then you and your kids' mothers have done something right.
And even
because it starts somewhere.
And Les and Woody, even if you separate and you have to go your own way, we have to make sure that our kids understand it's not their fault. Because that was one of the things that I did for many years as a young child, not knowing the specifics and certain things that happened. You know what I'm saying? I took that guilt on for a long time.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't have been mine to carry.
Yeah.
Like, I did something wrong. I did whatever that was, but that's when my parents split because, I did X, Y, and Z. That has, in being a young mind, we think and we carry those specific and certain things. But parents, please let your child know that this is not the why. I mean, I had to let even though my kids, they did take it really hard that me and their mother did separate, but I had to explain to them why we're separating.
A kid should never know. A kid should never know the reason. When me and my daughter's mom get to arguing, and it happens, or have disagreements, it happens. We're two different human beings. We walk away from everybody. But you never show chinks in the armor, and you don't show it to a kid because they will internalize it and say, "Is it my fault?"
And that's why I chose the transparency route. Me and her both got in front of them and told them, "Hey, this is what's going on."
Oh yeah.
I had.
See, I was never
choice.
married, so
Really?
no, I've never been
I
married.
think Alicia was married.
No, I've never been married. Never been married.
Oh, okay.
But I had to break it down to them because they're always going to look at, no matter if you separate, you move forward, they always have the dreams and grandeur
Of having those two back together.
And I had to let them know, listen,
It ain't gonna happen.
this is, we were meant, God bless us to bring you in this
The
world.
truth. You gave them the truth.
God blessed us enough to bring you in this world, but we were meant to be parents. We were meant to be friends and co-parents as opposed to being together. The things that our idealisms and things in our relationship just didn't work. And it's okay. It ain't the end of the world.
Right. And it's so much better when you can have a great parental relationship with your child, mother or father. I have like the greatest parental relationship with Brianna's father. You know, we got divorced, some things happened. It was time to end the relationship. But we work well together as parents. Now, granted, we don't sit on the phone talking every day, but when it's time to do things for Brianna, we get things handled. Now, he'll call and say stuff like, I can't believe you called me, asked me for some money. But he does it. He takes care of Brianna, so I can't say anything negative about Bree's dad.
I pay child
Getting that
support,
whole
still
co-parenting. When you have that dynamic and you're thinking about the child first, that's the most important thing. You have to remember what the ultimate goal is taking care of that child and bringing them up in a happy environment. I'm going to say this real quick, and then I'm going to read this comment from the watch party. Let me put on my glasses so I can see the screen. So I remember years ago when Bree's father and I were married, and I had a conversation with this young lady, and she was like, "Oh, you gonna leave that house? You gonna do this and you gonna do that? Blah 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 blah." I said, "Let me tell you something." I said, "It's nothing better than my peace of mind." I said, "And while me and him sitting and arguing every day, this is what my children see." Yeah. When your kids are young, sometimes you think, oh, because they're young, they don't understand. They do.
They know everything.
They do, and it affects them in a major way. And so when I saw that,
and it teaches them that they are people.
Right. And so when I saw that it doesn't work, and that house that we had built from the ground didn't mean shit to me. Bree's father can't take nothing from him as far as being a provider and doing what he needs to do as a man. He handles all that, but the relationship didn't work. And so my thing was, I gotta have peace of mind, but my kids gotta have peace too. My kids don't need to come home every day seeing us arguing, seeing us not get along, because it affects your children as well. So real quick from the watch party, and thank you,
Jamel.
Woody, for putting that in the watch party.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So Jamil Colden said to Woody, "Hey Woody, we have known each other for a great many years. Thank you and your panel for these topics. Some of these topics are more serious in my opinion. We are losing so many of our children to ideals of unworthy people.
Right.
We all must meet on common ground to secure the future of our next generation leaders." Yeah. What she is saying doesn't happen in relationships either. What do you mean by that? What she is saying doesn't happen in relationship either. Most are only concerned with the next option. Yeah. Don't settle for less. But every option isn't a step up or in the right direction. So
wow, that's powerful.
That's definitely.
The next option.
What I try to tell my sons, I do things, so we're gonna bring it back.
Okay.
And not trying to, but I'll just tell you some things.
That's right.
I used to do.
We all grown here. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, on Friday nights, I used to do a movie night with the kids. Hey, you guys pick the movie. We gonna all sit around and watch a movie. We're going to pop popcorn. Everything that they would get in a movie theater, we're doing at home. Every Sunday, or Saturday, it was Saturday, now it's Sunday. I will make my Sunday meals. I used to post them. I love to cook. Woody cooks. Wyatt doesn't really cook.
Teach them, y'all. Teach
these kids. Man, listen, let me tell you something on that. Females, teach these young ladies how to cook. My daughter bakes and cooks. She's getting ready to start a YouTube channel. We have to teach these kids how to be self-resilient.
Yes.
Because one day a man might live by himself. If he can't cook for himself, how the hell he gonna eat? Let's talk about it.
And you know what? I would tell my son and my daughter too, but more so my son as they were growing up. I would take my children to the grocery store. I would teach them how to shop, how to do comparison shopping. I've taken both of my children to the Department of Social Services because I used to work for the Department of Social Services. And I made them sit in the lobby and see the process of what it's like to have to get benefits, what it's like not continuing your education.
Yeah.
So they saw all of that. And so you have to teach your children those things. But I told my son, I said, Dre, let me tell you something. I said, you learn how to wash your clothes, you learn how to cook, you learn how to be self-sufficient. So when them little girls come into your life, you can say to you, you know what, bitch? Don't call them bitches. But kick rocks, because I know how to take care of me. And in turn, that's what we have to teach our daughters. Yeah, you know, some moms teach, girl, get all the money that you can. No, I'm teaching Bree, get your own money so you don't have to kiss his ass, so you don't have to lay on your back to get whatever it is that he needs. See, when a man think he's got something over on you,
And he might not even give it to you after he get it.
he may not, but if he is giving it to you, a lot of times, some of them, not all, because we do have some good men out here, they tend or want to treat you like shit because they feel like they got something over you.
Self-worth.
I got something over you. So now, okay, now you got to do this if you want this money. Or you got to do that if you want me to buy this, if you want me to buy that.
Yep.
And again, that's why I teach my daughter, don't you ever rely on no man. You got two parents who will give you as much as we can possibly give you. But one, make sure you have your own so you don't have to rely on nobody.
Les, Woody, this whole thing brought up something in me that my parents had taught me. Not saying I'm perfect. I have lied in my life, okay? But one of the things that I gained from my experiences in life and what they preached and taught me from day one is transparency. Don't lie to your parents and don't lie to women. Don't lie to chicks. Tell them the truth. I promise you.
It's appreciated much more.
Say it again.
It's appreciated much more. I'm gonna give a quick story once you're done.
I've gotten into more situations in my life from just being honest and telling the truth, as opposed to them finding out shit on the back end, and now you got motherfucking problems. All right? So if I present something on the forefront, I'm not saying I make an excuse to do what I want to do, whether I'm right or wrong. I'm just giving them a choice and giving them an option to say, hey, this is me. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm did. This is what you're gonna deal with.
I appreciate it much more.
It will and can get better, but I'm doing this right now. I need to find out who you are as well before I make my decision and my commitment to move forward with you. It's about growth.
Right, and there's a guy, and I've talked about him on the show 100 times over, and I swear I can't remember his name right now. But I think on Facebook he's Reginald Brown, but they don't call him. I can't remember his. Oh my gosh, I swear I can't remember his name. Holland Park.
Yeah.
But they didn't call him Reggie. They called him
Big Red.
No, they call him something else. It's not Big Red. But anyway, the thing that I love so. Oh my God, I want to call him Lonzo. It's not Lonzo either. Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. But anywho, the thing that I love about him the most is that when he would meet women, and I'm talking about even in our 20s, he's probably a couple years older than me, but even in our 20s, he was always upfront with women. Yo, here's the situation. We could get it in, but I ain't committing to nobody. Or I got a lady, and here's how the situation is going to go. You may not like what he said, but he was upfront with you, and you had to respect what he said because he didn't lie to you and he didn't play games. And I saw him a couple of years ago. Oh my gosh, I wish I could remember his name. This shows me that I'm getting older because I swear I cannot remember his name.
Yes, you
You
are.
can get up the air. You can get up the line.
I'm
Air.
only 20.
Both of y'all older than me. But anywho,
I'm only 20.
It's
And
gonna
so
come to you.
I saw him, whatever. I saw him a couple of years, maybe about 2 years ago, out at the store, and we exchanged telephone numbers and we had a conversation. And to this day, he is the same way. Same way. He's gonna tell you his situation up front. He's gonna tell you what he wants. He's gonna tell you what he's not going to give you, and he's gonna let you know, here's the situation. You decide what you want to do, and I'm so mad that I cannot remember his
It's gonna come to you
name.
right after the show.
Yeah, I know.
It
It's
is
gonna come.
right after the show.
It's gonna come to you.
What did that damn Eleanor say?
Eleanor. Oh boy.
But
Oh,
pretty much
Oh.
right now,
I knew it was something
no,
else.
she said
Yeah, I got some things to
she
do.
said
She
she
out.
enjoyed you. So she said she enjoyed Woody. So here's what I'm gonna do
Is
since
it getting ready
Woody,
to end?
if y'all want to end, if Woody is willing to come out to Chesterfield, we will have him on again. I've asked him to come on and mark.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't want to end, we don't have to. But Eleanor said
I'm not in a hurry.
she said her battery is done.
You better plug that
That's
track.
Right, you gotta be prepared
You
for the
better
show.
plug that track phone
Anlo.
up.
Anlo.
I bet
That
you
is
she
his
gonna
name.
plug that rabbit.
Oh.
Oh!
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Whoa! We need to have Kay on the
I'm here
show.
for the kids.
Alright.
I'm talking about the kids.
His name is Anlo. That's his name. But his name is different when his government is on Facebook. But Anlo. Love Anlo
I
because
want Eleanor
he's
here.
always up front with women. As far as I know.
Well,
he's always been up front
And
with
I
women.
put that into upbringing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
A lot of people tend to, like, I feel like if you lie to your kids, they're gonna be liars. I've tried to be as honest as I could to a degree with my sons, where it doesn't hurt them or give them so much to where you just want to be honest. Death is something that you have to be honest with your kids about. I told my son Woody, because he's the oldest, I said, son, when I go away from here, my eyes will close before yours. We're not doing this thing the wrong way. So my eyes are going to close before yours. We set up a life insurance policy where him, Wyatt, and Shay are going to pay into it. This is separate from my other life insurance policy.
Okay.
So it's a little bit higher, but they pay into it. When I go away from here, my insurance policy will handle everything. They will get the rest of that to them.
Oh, damn.
It's about building generational wealth.
You know what, Woody? We need to have you on the show where you're talking about that.
Yeah.
Because as
GoFundMe
As
pages are
fast.
whack. I'm
Right.
sorry. GoFundMe pages are whack.
Right.
I'm tired of seeing them. And let's raise these kids. Let's talk to them.
And I mean-
and sometimes
That means that the people were not prepared.
we don't prepare for death.
Preparedness.
My mother is a big advocate on preparing for death. When my
It's a
stepfather
part of
died,
life.
right? When my stepfather died 2 years ago, it's 2 years this December, I believe. My mother was prepared. She had everything in line for my stepfather's passing. But at this point, my mother has everything in line for when she passes. And I really need to talk to my mother about starting a business to help people to prepare for death.
And-
Because it's inevitable. It's going to happen to all of us.
And although we're talking about our children and Woody talking about the aspect of the show and the kids, one of the things that we don't get, and I think that we get preyed on about, listen, I understand about family. And sometimes, as somebody, I'm more inclined to give to the family members or have a family policy that wasn't that much because that's what they could afford. But when somebody in family says, okay, yeah, blah, 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 died, they know we had a great relationship together, or they knew of me, but you got some motherfuckers who never see you before in your life, and when it comes to death or somebody, a significant figure in the family, yeah, we're supposed to pull together. But the last 60, 70 years of their lives, or even when you are moving up in the ranks and knowing about this and knowing your parents were sick, none of y'all still got insurance policies or things to help cover the cost or do what you need to do for that. So why are we going funding me shit?
I'm sorry. As a father, I'm sorry because this really bothers me. I'm tired of seeing these kids get injured or killed behind if possibly they could have talked to someone along the way. Just
Right.
possibly. I'm not sitting there saying I can save the world. Maybe I can't. But if I can save one kid, that's all I care about. And this is no lie. This is not. I've had kids come and hug me and say, "Thank you, coach." Especially when I coach football. Never coached my day in my life. Never been on a football field with them. Never been on a basketball court. Never been on anything. These kids have so much information at their hands. They don't realize that when it comes down to life and death, it's not a game where you can restart this thing.
No, it's not a PlayStation.
And you're supposed to see 30, 40, and 50. And we're not telling these kids to enjoy, live life. Don't worry about sex is something that you can do later. Partying, something you can do later. Enjoy life right now. Be a 12-year-old. Be a 13-year-old. You know?
And you know what? Woody, be a 20-year-old.
Be a 20-year-old.
Y'all know Bree is in college.
True.
And so when Bree and I have conversations about, people that she meets, what she's doing in school, and she's 20 now. I can't really tell her what to do, but I can advise her. And I say to Bree, focus on school.
Get the education.
I said, don't worry about getting in a relationship. Don't worry about having sex.
It's time for that.
I said, because what ends up happening is sometimes those things can deter you and hinder you from moving forward. You get in relationships, they don't work out. Now you can't function. You can't think in school. And so I tell her all the time, Bree, let your focus be school. And here's something that Dre says to me. So, like I said, if you've been watching the show for a while and you've heard me talk about Dre is very reserved, and Dre is very quiet. So I'm really protective over Dre when it comes to relationship, and he's almost damn 30. But when me and Dre Sean have conversations, and I ask him, is there somebody new in your life? You dealing with somebody? Dre Sean says to me, I don't want a relationship right now. He said, I'm focusing on Dre.
Yeah.
I want to get me together. I don't want to focus on trying to be with somebody. I can have friends, but I don't want to be in a relationship, and I can respect that. And so it's not
terrible.
Right. So it's not really just the 12-year-olds and the 13-year-old. As a parent, we're always going to be parents. And so at 20, I'm talking to Bree about take your time, Bree. Finish school.
It never stops.
Get that degree.
It never stops.
Right. With Dre.
Yeah.
You don't want to rush into. Don't rush into anything. Take your time. Do you?
Enjoy
right.
life.
Exactly.
And the beautiful thing about what y'all saying right now is this has to be expressed, because outside of the household, when you're receiving the love, when the kids go to the campuses, when they on social media and on platforms and things like that, it's not the same. So if you instill the value of love before, they're not going to get caught up in the bullshit of a fake love.
A like is
somebody
not love.
in your DM hitting you up.
DM ain't love.
Right. They DMing 20 other people.
Right. It's the DMs and the attention. That will make your child's life so much better if you apply and get into that, because a lot of our children are buying into what's being programmed.
Social media.
Out here right now.
Society.
Right.
Tell it.
Social media, society is
right.
failing them. It's not like parents did it, and we blame ourselves if something happened to our child. Like, no, God damn it, we built, we taught, we did this and that third, but society is switching the parameters.
But you gotta be on that level
And,
with society.
and you have to teach your kids to value who they are. I can remember growing up, when I was younger, I didn't think I was pretty. I thought, oh my gosh.
I thought I was funny looking.
Maybe it was a Henrico thing. But I didn't think I was pretty. I was very I was insecure about how I looked.
Too.
You remember the stats? My stats was banging.
Yeah,
Paulette Madeline downtown, y'all.
Stacks
Paulette
like this,
Madeline.
this side just came straight down.
My stacks was banging. Paulette Madeline, they was the
I
bomb.
thought you said you was 29.
Y'all two said y'all was 29. I'm good at 48. But you have to teach your children about being proud about who. It took me a very long time to be comfortable with Leslie.
And
It took a very long, like I said, it took a long time for me to be comfortable with Leslie to be able to delve in, let's say it together, delve in to being Les. And, I had to get to that point where it's like, okay, I gotta be happy with me. I gotta be happy with this scar. I gotta be happy with this extra weight. I gotta be
You don't
happy.
got one of you.
Right, I gotta be happy with me, but you have to teach your kids that.
On you, bro.
Right, and
That's
you
all-
gotta
I got
teach
two,
your
I gotta
kids
put in
that.
third. No,
You gotta teach your kids that. You gotta teach your kids to be happy and secure in who they are. And what's so crazy to me is that even the prettiest women are some of them are insecure.
Most.
Some of the most attractive men are insecure.
Most.
I know one dude, very attractive guy. When I sit and you welcome.
Yeah, me too.
When we sit and have conversation, he says things to me like, Les, I gotta make sure this look right, because if it don't look right, then I know I can't walk out my door. If my hat is not tilted this way, if my hair is not lined up a certain way, I can't go out because I'm feeling this and I'm feeling that. And it's just so crazy, when you see people and you think certain things about them, and then when you have that conversation with them, how insecure they are, how not happy they are with themselves. And so again, we have to have the conversations with our children. So yeah, you know what? My eyes go like this, my nose go like that, but guess what? I'm happy with me. I'm happy with who I am. And if you don't like it and you're not happy with it, then
you'll do
to
extra
hell with
things
you.
but people will do extra things to
Right.
try to make that person happy with them, and that's where
Because at the end of the
you
day-
have to instill in these kids.
Right.
Gonna make you unhappy.
Right,
Love
exactly.
yourself.
You gotta love you. Not saying you gotta be conceited. Be confident in who you are. Be happy with who you are. We all have flaws. Even the prettiest
Yes,
of
I
us
do.
have flaws. You so silly. I think, and real quick, I just thought about Halle Berry.
No, we have.
She's
Halle
been
Berry.
named one of the most beautiful women in the world.
Facts.
I take a drink.
Think
Sean
about all the men that she has been involved with
Say
and that
she
she's
batshit
not involved
crazy.
with. Think about Beyonce. Beyonce's beautiful. She has a lot going on. But guess what? Jay-Z cheated on her. And so, again, sometimes we all have those.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I really don't. I didn't care.
I'm not saying that I care.
With the long hair.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is we all, it's something, sometimes it's that one thing we don't like about ourselves. That one thing that makes us not feel good about who we are. We got to accept everything that God has given us.
And that goes into, as I said, with these kids, you instill it early. If you
Right.
instill it early,
Exactly.
it will never ever. If your child has to search for love from you, you fail.
If your
You
child,
fail.
what?
If they have to search for love.
Oh, search for love.
You should
Okay.
show your child every day, not with the monetary gifts.
Mm.
You should, the words that you give them should be spoken out of love.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, they will never search for it elsewhere.
Now, two things I can say I honestly done in my life that I tried. Well, there was a relationship that I had with a woman. Beautiful, banging body. But as a child, she was burned on specific parts of her body.
Mm.
So, in certain parts of her body, her skin was not what most people would consider to be beautiful. But I think the thing that turned her life around is when we were in a relationship, the care that I gave her, even those areas that I might have kissed or touched or
Yeah.
massaged, or that was like the most fulfilling and the most loving thing she probably ever felt in her life, because
Makes a
people
difference.
looked and turned her away, or like, oh, said things about her and things of that nature. So, again, it's not the judgment. Sometimes you have to do a little bit more than that, not judge, but flip that around for somebody, because the same thing that person may be going through, one day you're going to be going through that, and you're going to need the same aspect. And my daughter, my youngest daughter, she's tall like her mother. She's probably about 6'3", 6'4".
Damn.
Okay?
I'm 6'7".
And
I'm sorry.
since she was a child, she was taller than her classmates. She was just always taller, but she's always been beautiful. But people always teased her about her tallness and this, that, and the third. And the other. And even when people gave her compliments, and I've tried so much that I didn't know what else to do. And Les, I think you could account for this. Even when y'all had y'all's program, or y'all was doing specific and certain things, I was like, take her with y'all when y'all go do X, Y, and Z. When she came to be with me and stay with me, and we was down in Richmond, so that she would see the self-worth. That tall is not a problem or issue. You know,
it is for short people.
For short people, yeah, for short people.
And that's their complex.
And they put it on other people.
Yeah, and everything ain't for everybody.
And it was the hardest thing to get through to her, to try to grasp and understand, like, damn it, like, you're beautiful. You are a model. You are X, Y, and Z. And that was the hardest thing that I could ever, and I think she still goes through that, because one time we was here in Virginia, and we went to a store, and they was like, oh my God, like, you are so beautiful. You're tall, like, how tall are you? And she snapped.
Oh, wow.
But I get it, but I had to pull her to the side and let her know, like, that was not the right response, because somebody give you a compliment. They not.
Well, people are uncomfortable with what they don't know. And the thing with our kids is we have to break down those barriers. If that makes sense. We allow our kids to become unfamiliar with things. So if your daughter has never heard her father say that she loves her, then that means any Tom, Dick, Harry, whoever will come along and say they love her, and she'll be like, "Oh my God, he loves me." No, that is once again the basis of where would dad come from. My daughter, I tell her I love her all the time. Her mom would say, "Y'all are two of the most lovingest people," because I love her. It's no.
And she's such a cutie.
If I don't tell her that I love her, some nigga in the street gonna tell her, and I don't want it to be unfamiliar.
And I just beat that nigga head.
I want to go back to something you said real quick, Chris, when you talked about embracing what somebody else. Not even yourself. When you talked about when you embrace somebody else's flaws and errors and shortcomings, because it makes a big difference when, and I'm gonna use y'all two as an example. So let's say me and Woody has been in a relationship for about 20 years, and when we got together, I was like 120. And in the beginning, Woody was loving me. Oh, Les, you great, you this, your body is this, your body is that, you're so pretty. And over the years, we done had kids, I done gained the weight, and he's like, damn, you gonna go to the gym and work out? What you doing? What you doing? You laying around, you're getting all big. Now, me and Woody live together, we married. But now I'm at work. And Chris sees me.
Yo, my God damn.
Right.
Looking good,
right. With whatever rolls, whatever extra weight. I've gained the weight being with my husband Woody, but now I go to work and Chris is like, you know what, you're beautiful. It doesn't matter. I like women who are a little fluffy. They say that in Jamaica, fluffy. But I like
fluffy now, girl, come on.
No, that's what she said. So, I like that you're fluffy, and he embraces what you feel insecure about. That makes a big difference, not just in women, but in men as well. To see that somebody loves you or likes you for who you are versus this person you've been with forever. It's like, damn, girl, you done gained all this weight. What, you eating up everything in the refrigerator? Get your ass out there and start working or start walking. And he's doing, as my husband, he's doing nothing to help me to overcome all the things and all the changes that has come about.
And Woody, see, the point that you just made, and I think Woody's going to probably go in this direction or be on the same direction. When we do things like this, our kids pick up and learn. And I didn't realize it. It wasn't too late, but when I recognized and felt it and saw it for myself, I'm like, God damn, I need to change my attitude and my way about how I'm talking to moms or how I'm doing this and doing that and the third. And we consider that, I'm being real. Nah, nigga, no, you being detrimental.
So real quick to everybody who just tuned in, hey y'all, I can't push wave because my phone is over there recording everything that we're doing tonight. And I know the show has been extended a little bit.
Because I said I would stay longer.
Right. So tonight we're here with Mr. Woody Winborn. He is the creator and host of A Word with Dad, which is on Facebook.
Yes.
So go to A Word with Dad, join the group.
It's open.
Like it, it's open.
Yeah.
Woody shares a lot of great information. He has a lot of great content. He does a little bit more than we do in terms of reaching out. He posts questions. He does a lot of different things in his group. Join his group. Find out what he's going on. And I think this is I think this is a dynamic group for men, but it's a dynamic group for women to join as well. Because you get to see, the dad's perspective.
Yeah.
You get to see the man's perspective of being a parent. So it's not just for men. When you see A Word with Dad, ladies, don't shy away from it. Join. Hear the conversation. Hear what they have to say. And Woody opens it up so that you can share your feedback, so that you can answer questions. So real quick, Woody. Because you are witty. Woody. Can you share what you do during the week without
Motivation Monday, Trendy Tuesdays. Hold
on. Break it down. What you doing on Monday?
Motivation Mondays, Monday motivation. I just throw a word out there. I want to motivate us. We're coming out the weekend. We got to go back to work. Let's all get motivated. If it ain't family, career, kid, whatever, we get motivated. Trendy Tuesdays. A trend that I put out there was hugs. Hug your kids. Mm-hmm. A hug is a way to pass off positive feelings. When have you hugged somebody and been mad after you hugged them unless they was kind of malodorous? That's another big word.
Malodorous. We got 3 words for tonight.
Delve. Pilfer. And malodorous. But when you a kid,
I need the correct spelling for each word.
Don't worry, I'll get you straight. A kid needs to be hugged. Not in a bad way. When you have a kid, that's a way to pass off a positive emotion. That was one of my trendy Tuesday topics. What's the word Wednesdays? I throw a word out there and we talk about it. Topical Thursdays. We delve into the subject. Topical Thursdays. I've had a subject on there where men kiss their sons in the mouth. We talked about it. A woman beating her son down in Atlanta.
Hold on, real quick. Mm-hmm. What was that day?
Topical Thursdays.
And you got the one before that.
What's the word Wednesdays?
You had a lot of comments on that. A lot of comments.
It's also a safe zone. Nobody, listen. No, I can take advice from him. Mm-hmm. He mentors me. I mentor him. Mm-hmm. The problem with people is we like to say, you can't tell me nothing about my kid, man. My kid don't do that.
Yeah.
And then you look on Facebook, they did like the little boy to pop like 9 Percocets and he overdosing on it.
Oh, wow.
So we gotta make sure that, like I said, follow the kids on social media. And then Free Your Mind Fridays. One topic I did for Free Your Mind was music. Mm-hmm. I feel like we push our kids' music to the side. If you push them something that is molding them to the side, how are you going to connect with them when they start doing other things?
Right.
So that's what I do. I'm here to talk, learn, listen. It's a safe place. We don't argue. If I see you getting out of hand, I send you a personal message.
That's good. You don't blast.
Yeah, I don't blast people. I never blast people. Because I feel like if somebody got a problem with me, if you talk to me to the side, I can handle it.
Right, exactly.
But if you say, hey man, what you doing that? And then you go off, I mean, but you feel what I'm saying? It's about building.
You put that energy, it's going to come back.
It's going to come back. And that's the problem right now. What A Word with Dad is a chance to put positive energy into the kids and into the parents. I have grandparents on there. I have stepfathers. Yes. Because we got young grandparents nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
You got kids. You got parents and grandparents at 40.
Yeah.
It's generational. I have grandparents. I have parents. I have uncles, aunts, sisters, brothers, stepdads, stepmothers. We can all talk to each other. Let's learn from each other. Mm-hmm. And I'm doing a Father's Day dinner. I have a class over at Henderson Middle School that I'll be sponsoring. I want to get one where I start talking to the high school kids. Mm-hmm. I'm also going to be working in a group home, talking with adolescents from 12 to 16. Mm-hmm. This is bigger. God touched me for this.
Sleep, brother. Please.
I was getting ready to say that. Go ahead and say it. I was getting ready to say it.
Connect with me.
Okay.
One of the things I want to tell you.
I was going to say us.
Son of a. Us, but yeah. Us, please.
Yeah.
Connect with us. One of the things that's been a cylindrical thing that I've been seeing in this society although we get with our kids' music and things like that, we have to teach. This is everything that we're doing, what we're learning from cell phone, the energy, everything is frequency. We have to start teaching our kids to play that, put that. If you want to do something, listen to instrumentals. Listen to something. Listen to different things. Listen to the calm you get out of work, because one of the things that I would tell you that's important to me, and I tell my kids to this day, I tell anybody, everybody, all the time, there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress already in what we deal with interpersonally.
Life. The
music that's being presented in this day and time, it has for a long time. A lot of people ain't recognize this. Maybe you have, but you let it go. Don't let it go. It's time to change this music that we have, or be responsible for what you put into your system, because what you put in is going to come out. So if you put in, shoot, kill, fuck, da 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 da. So I'm knocking on Les's door. We supposed to have a meeting, and Les don't come downstairs fast enough. The fuck, you ain't come down here. And, you ain't
kill. But even with that, building on that, they listen to that music, and bruh, this is not in an offensive way. We all listen to that. We have music. NWA was fuck the police, but we didn't go out and shoot the police. Ice-T had a song where he cop killer. But what happens is, when we were younger, we understood that shit is entertainment. And we're not telling our kids that it's entertainment. Listen here, man. Blueface is a punk.
I'm sorry.
Blueface is a rapper that my son listens to. He go in the clubs, he punch people in the face, jump off stage, and do all that shit.
What?
He's a punk. And the reason I say he's a punk, because he punched people in the face when he got bodyguards. You got people on stage.
And we're gonna run to protect you.
But this is, and the point I'm making is this. I have told my sons that is entertainment. Treat it as such. If he say go out here and kill 10 cops, man, he's saying that's a rap song, man. He
ain't killed
10 cops.
Right.
So I just feel like I always try to talk to my sons. My daughter has met stars. My sons have met stars. And they see that them people behind all them lyrics, all that good stuff.
They're not the same people.
Same people, man. They just like you. They gotta put their pants on one leg at a time. They gotta pull their pants down and take a shit the same way you do. Right. And this is the way I talk to my kids.
And
and other kids.
And this is excellent. But the same problem with that is, if our kids make that mistake, if they swing at somebody, they hurt somebody, or they respond to some shit, because I'm gonna put it out there, because of the color of our motherfucking skin, we gonna get slapped harder. Our kids are gonna get pushed through so much more shit, and a lot of times our youth and our kids are the ones who are responding after they've reached out to the people who's supposed to protect them and put them in charge to say, hey, this shouldn't be happening. We're gonna do X, Y, and Z. No. I had a subject on that Letitia Sammy, she's on here, she just signed in. She does a talk called Community. And she talked about, are there enough police on the streets to handle different things? And I made a comment. We sit here and we tell our kids, hey, stitches get stitches. Stop snitching. You know what? We need to break down the real definition of that. Right.
You know why? You know what the definition of snitching is? Me, you, and you go out, we rob a bank. I get caught, and I tell them on y'all to lessen my time. That is snitching.
That's snitching.
Now, if me, you, and you live in this house, and they breaking in houses down the street, and I call and say, hey, these brothers breaking in houses down the street, I don't want to break into mine. That's called protecting my neighborhood. That is protecting your land, or making sure that it doesn't happen to you. So let's teach these kids correctly, because a lot of people are being murdered. The same people that sit and say, hey, stop snitching. If somebody kill a family member of theirs, they on TV talking about, hey, can you please turn in the killer of my cut?
Provide information.
And that's not cool. And I tell my sons all day, don't put yourself in a position to where you have to. I tell people, in the barbershop, we talk about this. if you do a crime around me, don't do it, because I'm not going to jail for you. I'm not going to jail for you.
And that's real.
So I feel where you're coming from.
And people
but
think it's a fucking honor.
It's not an honor, man.
It's not gonna be an honor when your ass is in there for fucking 8-10 years, or your child is in there for 8-10 years.
It's not.
When they should have said something in the beginning.
So I try to, and that's what I try to do. I talk to kids, adolescents on every single level, and it's we've been on. It's 9:13.
Are you kidding me?
No, we've been on a good while.
Oh wow.
Dog, I can talk all night. I'm a talker. I like to talk.
But maybe situations.
But I just try to make sure that I always connect with people, talk to them. Well, not people, kids. Sometimes I get more respect than some parents do.
Absolutely, and that's why when you said something a bit earlier, I said sometimes when I go to certain places, I mean the grocery store, dollar store, whatever, people are like, Mr. Allen,
Hug your neck.
You know,
that's respect.
I mean,
who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you?
If you don't know Nicole Fields,
I know Nicole.
Yeah.
I know Nicole.
Y'all would be great to partner together.
I know Nikki. Her son, I know her son's father. Her son played football.
College, right?
Her son just went to college. I know Nikki. Her oldest son went to college. Right. I know Nikki always smile like this. I know Nikki. She cool people.
She is.
But I build with people. I can't be great without having great people around me.
Right.
A kid can't be great without having great people feed into him. That's a sponge. So that's what I do. A Word with Dad is where you can follow me. I'm about to start up my Instagram. I'm about to start up my Twitter. I'm also doing a Father's Day dinner. I'm getting with a couple of people. Next year we're going to start doing things where we do more outreach. I'm going to go meet with people. Once a month, I'm going to have a class that I sponsor. Then just go talk to them.
All right, so with that being said, I did not realize it was 9:30.
Wow.
But I
time flies when you
Hey, hold up. And guess who we just talked up?
Nicole Fields.
I'm going to smile like Nicole.
Nicole, we have been talking about you. I just shouted you out.
That's Nicole's smile right here.
30, you so stupid. I shouted you out about 30 minutes ago talking about how you work with children.
What her old
how you work with youth enrichment, how you put conferences and summits and different things together for them.
Nicole has known me for over 20 years.
Yeah, because I was just saying to her, I was like, wow, you know Nicole, because y'all need to hook up. Y'all can probably do something well together. So Nicole is watching right now, y'all. We love Nicole.
That's her smile.
We've been on her show. She's been on our show. And so she's amazing.
I love
transparency is Nicole.
She likes it.
No.
She's transparent.
Nicole does a lot in the community. You can follow Nicole at Nicole Fields. Nicole is amazing. She's really great. So glad that we have been able to connect with Nicole over the years. So here's what we're gonna do, because it's 9:30. I gotta get these folks up out of here. So what we're gonna do is share our final thoughts. I'm gonna share my final thoughts first. We usually give it to the guests, but I'm gonna share my final thoughts, and they're gonna be a little bit different tonight. My final thoughts are Woody. Thank you so much for coming on here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in on a time where Facebook has made changes and we couldn't bring you in on the box. You know, we try to make it convenient for people to be on the show. So I thank you so much for coming on here. Thank you for all the knowledge that you have shared with us. Thank you for making this 2.5 hours amazing. Yes. I thought it was about 8:30, not 9:30. Make sure you all follow Woody on A Word with Dad. Now I'm gonna say this on air, and this just because I want him. Woody has committed to coming back in March when we do our month of men, our March month of men. Woody is gonna come back for that. Go ahead, do it. So Woody's gonna come back for that.
Like Nicole.
You stupid. So also, and Nicole is giving comments. We'll read them in a second. Also, I have asked Woody to be a guest speaker for the organization. I'm the president and founder. Chris is the vice president. Ms. Betty Thurston is our second vice president, EVO, entrepreneurs and business owners. Yeah. Woody is going to come in as a speaker. He's going to cover marketing. And so if you have not joined EVO and you don't know anything about it, reach out to us, because this is a great organization. And you've heard Woody speak. You've heard him give us 3 words of the day.
Delve.
Yes.
Pilfer. Malodorous.
And make sure you type those in because we're gonna use those. And so he has shared a lot on the show tonight. So I'm so happy to have had him. I thought we had you on the show before.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming, so I'm glad that you sat here with us. It makes a big difference sometimes when we have the guests right here with us. So he's gonna be coming on even more. I've got him for 2 things. If you want to hear him talk about marketing, you have to join EBO in order for him to talk about marketing.
Yeah.
So real quick, because I'm done with my words, my final thoughts. I'm not going to even say, well, do this with your kids. I had to give my shout out to Woody. So Woody, real quick, because I'm talking about marketing and I want you to plug everything. Tell them why I chose you to come in and talk about marketing. Give them your background.
Marketing, I worked at Willie's Records and Tapes. That's where a lot of people know me from. That's where I started. Everything was about POP, point of purchase. That's marketing. I worked at the radio station 15 years.
Which radio station?
106.5 The Beat. That is all about marketing. So when you want to learn about ROI, which is return on investment, when you want to talk about SEO versus SEM, search engine optimization, search engine management, I know about that. When you want to talk about reaching people through your Instagram, through your Facebook, every free social media there is, I know about that. So I can break down every single thing of getting people.
At the EBO meeting first, but you gotta be a member to come in and hear his great presentation that he's going to share.
I know some
He
things.
knows a lot of things.
Yeah.
All right, so who wants to share their final thoughts?
Now, my final thoughts is this, and I'm gonna tell y'all. Parenting, there's no real book on how to parent, but in my opinion, in my experience, I think that Woody Winborn, yes sir, I think he has a good concept and a good platform that you should really get with and follow. So definitely like his show, follow his show when it comes on, check it out, listen to it, and also just think that when you are open and honest with your children, your friends, whoever that may be, it opens up an opportunity for bonding. It's just that transparency. It's that past experience and things that's going to pull y'all and move you close together. And we all need to start creating environments, not only for our kids, but as our friends and our environments, our business, our associates, whoever that is, where we can start having real conversations and talk about things that will help us to grow as individuals first and foremost. Yeah. And things that's going to help us grow, business partners, networking, things of that nature, but also to help your kids grow, help you grow. And I think that's amazing, and I really appreciate Woody for coming on the show tonight because, look, bruh,
it's been fun.
Listen, I'm ready. I've been trying to do this for a minute.
Yeah, I've been on the show,
and this is amazing for me. This is you give me more energy to be able to continue on what we do.
Yeah, definitely.
And I definitely want to hook up with what you do.
Oh yeah, we are. So it's my turn?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, first off, I want to thank Leslie, Big Les. I've known Leslie for 20-some years.
Yeah.
We're about to have
30
some years. We're about to have our reunion. I want to thank Chris. This is my first time meeting him, but I've definitely seen him on EDP365.
And I hope y'all can connect on some.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna do that. But first things first, I am a father first. That is what started A Word with Dad. You can follow me at A Word with Dad. It's a video blog. Every Thursday starting January, first week of January, we're gonna start doing this. We're gonna put together a show. I will be bringing Leslie and Chris on there. It's gonna be a little bit different. It's gonna be more of a dinner, just quick eat, 30 minutes, we out. It's a conversation over dinner because we don't have a lot of time. But definitely A Word with Dad, Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook, Woody Winborn, WOODY. Follow WINBORN. You can follow me, or you can. I think I'm almost at 5,000 friends.
Nice. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Some people I'm really good with faces, so if you say your name, I won't remember half the time. I'm gonna be starting up a Twitter, A Word with Dad, Instagram, A Word with Dad. I want to thank CJ Richardson. He's putting together my logo. I want to thank Don Thompson. He's helped me. Yeah, CJ Richardson, my boy. Don Thompson's going to help me. Original slang. He's going to help me put together some original slang.
In fact, he's watching right now.
Yeah, he's on. That's my boy. I've known him for better than 30 years. I just want to thank everybody that helped me come through this. I'm going to be creating a YouTube channel also. But my last thoughts is this. And I had to write this down because people don't choose their calling. It chooses them. I didn't choose to be a father. It happened. I didn't expect it when it happened, but I did it. So I always say that to mean this. Those kids, they're innocent. Mm-hmm. Treat them correctly, nurture them, and raise them, and they will definitely give it back to you. I appreciate you guys bringing me in here, and thank you. And I know Nicole said something.
Yeah, she did.
Look, Nicole, don't do it. I know she said something.
Creaky, what you feeding them noodles? Since you're talking about my smile.
Yeah, actually, chicken flavored noodles.
Oh, what?
That's what I feed the boy.
I thought she was like chicken and something else.
No, we eat chicken noodles. I made some chicken barbecue this past weekend. I love to cook too, and I teach the kids how to cook too. Yeah, y'all come on over.
Alright.
I ain't talking about to be in front of the video. I'm talking about we just chilling, we just talking. Alright, real quick.
Yeah.
So you got anything coming up you want to share before I give my stuff that's coming up?
Just look out for me. And if you have a kid, if you need advice, I have a group of brothers that talk to me, and they talk to you. That's what a word with dad is. There's no one person greater than another. Marlon McCormick, Darryl Goins, McKee Irvin, Wood Fox, Rodney Leeper, Puka Scott, even though sometimes we disagree on football, Puka Scott. It's just so many of us. Robbie Jackson. We all talk, and that's what we do. We get it together, and you get some like minds talking about like things to make these kids better.
I would love to see Nicole come in on that platform.
Nicole, you need to follow me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get it.
All right, so real quick, don't forget about potion number 2. Here we go. For your bathroom needs, spray goes so no one knows, everyone poops, no one likes to smell it. All right, great stocking stuffer, 15 milliliter bottle, $3 comes in 4 cents. Alpha Mist, Citrus Blend, Island Breeze, and Orange Slice. The two of us have used it, so we love it. It may have lavender in it.
I might get some lavender.
But I'll grab your bottle before you go. Alright, and so it works. It's great. Most people love Alpha Mist, especially the men who get the potion number 2. Alright, so Blinged Out Party. Something new coming up. Ladies, January 25th, 2020, here in Richmond, Virginia at Bar Louie. Well, come on out. Come on out. It's a blinged out. Now, here's the thing, y'all. It's a vision board t-shirt party. And so your vision is going to be on your shirt. It's going to be on your shirt. So if you go to my page on Blinged Out Party, it's blingedoutparty.com/partieswithlez. blingedoutparty.com/partieswithlez. Tickets are $35. Now, $35 is the deal because they're normally more than $35. But again, you got a vision right here. You can walk around all year with that. So reach out to me. Now, a lot of times, we like to wait until the last minute. You cannot wait until the last minute. Tickets, the last day to purchase tickets is going to be January the 15th.
Okay.
Again, it's going to be at Bar Louie out in Short Pump. Also, join my groups, Meet, Connect, Promote. That is if you're a brand builder, entrepreneur, business owner. Join this group. You can post your business, post events. I also have authors in a co-op for my authors. Go in there, post your books, post questions, post tips. I also have Everyday People 365, which is an extension.
EDP.
That's right. It's an extension of the show. I also have Gino, Girls Night Out. Ladies, post your events. Post Girls Night Out events. Things that's coming up. Post, all those things so we can have some ideas of what we can do when we want to hang out. I also have Richmond events and vendors. Post events that are coming up so people have different places where they can vend. Big shout out to Mr. Greg Hall. This weekend he did a boudoir photo shoot for me. A lot of you have seen the photos that I posted. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Fire!
You had a cigar. She had a cigar like this.
Not F-I-R-E, P-H-Y-R.
This was how her cigar was.
P-H-Y-R-E. That was fire, son.
Her cigar was like this.
So yeah.
It was lit, like, whoo.
So ladies, if you want to step out of your comfort zone and be super sexy, he did some amazing
In
photos.
black and white. I think he's called Big. Isn't he called Big?
I know he is on
He's on Big. That's my dude.
on Instagram.
That's my dude. Great.
Yeah.
That's my dude.
And you
That's
know,
my
I didn't
dude.
make the connection to like months, a
That is
couple
my
months
dude.
ago that
That's my
his
dude.
brother graduated with
His
us.
brother Melvin, God rest in peace, Melvin. That's my dude.
Exactly. So again, Greg Hall, he did an amazing job with those pictures. If you go to my page, you can see it. Schedule an appointment with him.
Yeah.
Schedule an appointment with him. Those photos were amazing. I am super excited about them. And I haven't even posted all of them. I haven't posted all of them. He's done an amazing job. He's always looking for women to, be a part of that. Yeah, he's always looking for new models.
And cool with the makeup? God.
And I wanted to shout
like
out Kula,
models.
Miss Kula Von Seal. That's my bitch.
I think we do.
Love me some Kula Von Seal. She did my makeup for the photo shoot. So Kula is amazing. Love me some Kula. And so that's just something else that shows, hey, we got to work together. We got to promote each other and help each other out. Network, collaborate, and help to build each other up. Like I said, Kula hooked up the makeup. Greg took up the pictures. Go to my page, Leslie White. Go to my page and check those pictures out because they are hot.
Yo.
Pilfer them. Pilfer them. Pilfer. Pilfer. Delve into them and pilfer them.
Don't forget, EBO entrepreneurs and business owners. I'm the founder and president. Chris is the vice president. Miss Betty Thurston is the second vice president.
I know Betty.
Woody Winborn is coming in as a guest speaker. We are doing amazing things with this group. We are helping entrepreneurs to build and grow. We're incorporating a Toastmasters model. We are going to have accountability mentors.
Facts.
We'll be talking about networking. We'll be talking about how we can invest as a group to have other streams of income as a group. We're going to talk about facilitating all kinds of things. And this is going to be a great opportunity to grow. It's for veterans. It's for those who are getting their feet wet. Chris is amazing with websites. So we're going to be teaching a whole lot of things in this group. And not just that, we want you to take ownership in this group because we want you to teach us as well. So you can go to EBO Entrepreneurs and Business Owners. Check that out.
EBO, baby.
My telephone number is 804-424-0336. You with me?
804.
No, you got my for real.
You
You got my for real number.
For real.
804-424-0337 is my telephone number if you want any information
When you just about to stop, I like,
about any information. Yeah, you got the other number, boo. You got the other number, boo.
I'm sorry, boo.
So, if you want to contact and reach me about any of these things, let me hurry up so these two can get out of here because they are cutting up. Chris, what you want to share?
One of the first things I would want to say this evening is that if you missed your chance.
Oh, real quick, let me say these two things. I am a cast member of the Real Woman of RVA. Check that out on YouTube. Also, I am also
Nicole Field Smile.
You so silly. I'm also a cast member of Valerie McAllister's web series, The Book Club. So check all those things out. Now I'm going to turn it over to Chris. And then you close us out.
Yeah.
It was if you missed your chance to get in our discussion on why women are having a hard time trying to find Mr. Right. So I do want Woody Woodburn, if he's available, to come out to this event as well. Because we're going to get in and talk real. It's not going to be disrespectful.
A lot of minutes,
It's going to be, this is the most humble and off the hook thing that you can ever find. But women, we definitely going to get into discussion on why women are having a hard time for finding Mr. Right in today's society.
And not Mr. Right now?
I could be Mr. Right now. Anybody can be Mr. Right now.
Oh my God.
But that shit don't last. It's temporary. So, and again, it's people like to share your thoughts or catch up on the real, catch up on the game. We're going to be at, we're going to have this panel discussion. It's going to be held at North Park Branch Library at 8508 Franconia Road, Henrico, Virginia, 23227.
I'll be there.
On December 5th, which is on a Thursday.
That's this
Oh,
week.
that's this Thursday.
This week is
I'll be
Thursday
there.
from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we're going to have also the women to ask questions and speak. And then the men are going to follow behind and talk about the questions and answers and things that they would like to have to be responded to. And I want to give for the organizers of the event, I want to give a shout out to Celeste Davis and Valerie McAllister. So you know that you're going into a very enlightening, a very humble, and very off the hook event. So you register online on Eventbrite. Again, if you go to Valerie McAllister's page or Celeste Davis, or on my page as well, you'll see the post that I presented. You'll be able to go into the Eventbrite post and register for the event, so we'll know how many people are coming. So we'll, be prepared for you when you come. And again, it's going to be a great event. Did anybody have anything else to say before I?
Real quick, Nicole said,
Jesus. Oh boy.
and she's talking about potion number 2.
Oh boy.
I use it at work for them secret poopers. You are doing it all, lad.
Oh, they be dropping bombs at work. Dropping bombs over Baghdad.
So that's gonna be my Christmas gift.
Drop a bomb at work.
Mm-mm.
I got a coworker. Oh, I can't say it.
Don't put no stuff out there, buddy.
Whoa.
But we be in trouble. People be trying to see you in the parking lot.
Yeah, right? No.
Oh, my God.
Hey, I love them. Hey, I can do this all the time. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Definitely
You know
appreciate
you
you
are
coming
more
out.
than welcome to come and sit on the couch.
Oh, absolutely. And until
Don't forget
next
about
week,
those words.
Oh, delve.
Spell that for me.
DELVE. Pilfer. PILFER. Malodorous. MALODORIOUS. Malodorous.
Alright, so
Oh no, take the I out. Boom.
I think in 2020, EDP365, we need to have a new word,
New word
every week.
Every month.
Every week.
Every month. Every month. Every month.
Break it down. Break it down. Break it down. New word. Dell. New word. New word.
Pilfer the word.
New word. New word. You gotta go with the last one.
Malodorous.
Break it down. Break it down.
Boisterous.
Break it down. Break it down.
My mom was an English teacher.
Dell.
Delve into the topics of EDP365.
So it's not dive.
It's not dive. It's
Dell.
delve.
And I've been saying dive for years. It's Dell. If you missed the beginning of the show, Woody corrected me real quick. Oh no, it's not dive. It's
Delve.
delve.
So
Please delve into the word of EDP.
Oh, wait a minute, y'all. Wait a minute. Does that say Reginald Brown?
Oh, that's your boy.
Anlo, I was talking
That's
about
your
you
boy.
earlier today, Anlo.
Look, that's your boy.
Anlo,
Look at the eye.
I was talking about you, and I was telling people how upfront you are when it comes to dealing with women in relationships.
He should make a show.
He should, because
The realest nigga of all
Anlo is very upfront. He's straight no bullshit.
I know
And
that
so I
name.
told him, Anlo, how you're always upfront when you're in relationships or not in relationships. How your thing is, hey, this is my situation. This is what I do. Take it or leave it. And
Look
that's
at
what I
you.
love about Anlo. And I've known Anlo since I was about 19 or 20 years old.
Anlo,
so big kudos to Anlo.
She is candy coated. She said, "You are, hey, look,
What did I say?
we fucking or what?"
No, I didn't say that.
No, that's me.
But he's
Hey,
very
what's good?
upfront.
What's good?
Anlo is very upfront. That's what I love
You ain't
about
got a
him.
call. I'm not coming to get you an Uber.
He's very
Get a lift.
upfront.
No,
That's what
I'm
I
sorry.
love about
I
him.
use foul language.
That's what we do on EDP365. So again, and we were talking about that. You can respect a man more when he tells you up front, here's the situation.
I've been there and done that.
Either
I
you
believe
in,
it.
you're in or you're out. You're in or you're out.
My day. I'm sorry. I teach my son. I I in my day I've lied, and that's probably why I'm still single to this day, because I've lied in my day.
And that has something to do probably with the story you told us earlier. We ain't gonna put that
Yeah, we
on
ain't
the
gonna put that
set.
story out.
But the story you told us earlier, it's all right.
But family, HCHs and everybody out there who's been watching the show, until next week, live and love constructively.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Address your
you.
issues positively. Keep your house in order. Stay woke. And watch the signs in the sky. There's plenty of them. I see them every night, every day. Until next week, from Team EDP365,
Let me
we
break
love
this
you
down.
and peace.
Oh God.
To the sky, baby bubba.
Sing the Shirley Caesar song, greens, chicken, potatoes, mashed potatoes.
Oh, Jill Scott.
That was Shirley Caesar. Right, no, I said, oh, Jill Scott. Oh, yeah. Green,
All right,
chicken,
that's it.
potatoes,
We out. Chris, close us out.
Love y'all.
We out.
Peace. Brothers and sisters.
Oh.
One more game.